So it's mid-year,
Yes,
and fucking lots has happened
a lot
in
of
the
stuff.
movie industry
Yeah.
and nerd industry. We have shit coming up this month alone where we're just excited for. Like
We are-
usual, this is the month of July, which means it's Comic-Con.
We are for us. I leave on Tuesday or early Wednesday morning. You leave Tuesday, so we're really a few days away.
Yeah, less than a week.
Oh my God, it's
And
the excitement.
I have so much dirty laundry.
You gotta always plan the laundry so you could be set to have everything ready.
Right. I plan laundry the day before because I will use it all throughout especially when it's this hot. I get sweaty balls.
Oh God, how bad it was Friday last week.
Oh, fuck that, dude. In LA, it was like 115 degrees.
Yeah, it was like I stayed at a coffee shop writing for the longest. Like, it was as hipster as it sounds, but they had coffee. I wondered what the people thought of me because I got there at 10 a.m. And I left at 5:30.
What did you do?
I caught up on podcasts. I read a few things. I read a few articles.
So you did it because it was hot.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't even know how hot it was until I walked out to go to the bank to go grab some cash, and I was like, I'm just gonna come back. I had picked everything up, and I'm like,
So your initial plan was to just go to the Starbucks?
It's called Javatini's in Seal Beach, California.
It's called what?
Javatini's.
Okay, I thought it was just your accent playing a part here right now.
No, it's a small little coffee place. They have what I considered one of the best. It's just straight. It's called the Javatini's. It's their signature drink. Love it. But
So
I sat there.
You went for a Javatini,
And
it wasn't hot when you went to for the.
it was the morning.
Javatini.
Yeah, it wasn't as
fine.
hot. Yeah.
And then you left.
And I'm like, I'm gonna come back in here. And I sat there. I literally saw a beret of people come in with bathing suits, and this is right by the beach. And I'm like, I wonder. Yeah, I should do something with my life. But no, I was just. I think I stayed there for till 5:30 from 10. It's a lot of hours. I'm not good at math, so I don't know what that is.
That is a lot of fucking hours. That's a work day.
Yeah.
But you chilled.
Yeah, it was
at a
relaxing.
coffee shop.
It
And
was awesome.
do you have a view of the ocean?
There's one with the view of the ocean. I have a view of just nothing. It's just relaxed. It's like you've been to Main Street in Seal Beach where I work. It's a nice little old town vibe. I oversee kind of just.
So
I go there.
You didn't work that day?
No, I didn't. I go there mostly Fridays. I always get. It's a lot of my inspiration and places come from there when I'm writing because I'll look at these old retired people and I'm kind of like, what was their life like? Like, this is what they do. They're retired. They have money and they're just like two little old couples.
I don't think they're local. I think they probably started in Wisconsin somewhere.
No, and
worked at a cheese plant.
And I think about stories like that, and now they're retired here. And I'm like,
okay.
And I think to myself, like, fuck, like I want to get their story, just kind of like get it's just like so much of like old crowd to young crowd in the mornings that I'm like, it's cool to come there and just kind of like sit there. I have like my note or my like a little notepad, and I just kind of like draw stuff, or I'm like just try to get ideas of anything. And I've inspired a few ideas in the past there, and other than that, it's like if I'm working all the time, I'm like, this is good. I just go and relax, and it's awesome. That's where I make my top 10s. I'll go on the Letterbox app, and I'll just like grade everything. Yeah.
Two Guy Podcast brought to you by Letterbox.
Hopefully, right? Pay us.
That would be awesome, actually. What is this fucking podcast called, dude?
We have it. I think I put it. I set it up as mid-year, pre-con. But I put con.
That sounds like a tire shop.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
No, but we can change it. It's still.
I mean, what's our show called?
We haven't decided. Yeah.
Just us two, because we will record at Comic-Con.
We have the other guys. We have our own name, but since
what was our name?
Well, we did it at FCF. Just I think it was called like Film, Comics, and Fandom.
Yeah,
that's what it stood for.
Oh yeah, but it was. Oh no.
We liked
I thought
it.
It was our initials.
It was you're the ones that came up with the initials, like to name us.
FCFJ.
Yeah, but then we're like.
But it would have been like, wait, is it Film, Comics, and Fandom?
Juice.
That sounds so lame.
So that's why. And
no, Julian, dumbass.
I know.
But what would be Juice? What the fuck?
No, and we're creating because like we are going to record the one over there, and every time you're in the podcast with us, it's much better than the other. We have a lot that we recorded. Once again, we've never posted this one. We
have to post it, dude, because
we
we do this shit a lot.
Yeah.
This is like to anyone when I post this because it's going to be posted.
Yeah.
Frankie, are you going to put your shit on silent?
It's on silent.
Yeah, but can you hear the vibration?
No.
Okay. We've recorded 10 of these since 2014 or something.
Yeah.
Like the first Comic-Con we went together. Not a single one has ever been uploaded.
And some of them are good. We have the good old famous one that we did at Comic-Con, where we started off very normal, me, you, and Carlos, and in some way,
That's
in the podcast, Fernando,
Danny
got
because
Danny was sleeping.
And I called him a hipster.
Yeah, and then
but he woke up, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of had a few 2 cents in there. But Fernando started off really, getting his point across. Midway through it, you could hear me, and you look like. Even though no one can see us, you could feel our eyes. Like, should we get him out of here? Because he was telling us in 2011 or 2015 that Hugh Jackman was going to play Wolverine.
Yeah.
We're like,
oh, that's right. He's the biggest Wolverine fan in the world.
But he was so drunk. Somehow you can pinpoint the point. So we have podcasts like that should have gone up, but we never put them up. And we get good talks and debates.
I remember that was the same year we saw the Batman v Superman trailer. Mm-hmm. And with that said, trailers.
That's good. Look at that segue king right here.
This has been a very fucked up intro.
People love it. They get to know who we are.
Yeah. So Franky is a. Let's. You know what? This is episode 1.
Yeah.
This is episode 1.
I like to go with that.
I'm gonna actually see if I can cut this to make it start at a right spot.
Perfect. I'll give you the files.
Yeah, and I just need a new fucking computer with software. I don't have editing software. That's why I'm always like, can you do it? But, So all I have is a Chromebook, and that doesn't have you heard of it?
I don't know much about it.
They're great. My sister got it for me for Christmas, and it's fucking awesome for everything but like editing and writing. So it's not necessarily a work computer. It's more like you can write, but it's all internet based. It's weird. But it doesn't take up space. Like there's like 8 gigs on it, and I have yet to fill them.
I wish I didn't have. If I still had my account, I don't even know who has it right now. But you know how I have the Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud. You just log in, download the app, and you can use whatever.
We shouldn't talk about that.
No. It doesn't matter. I'm saying like that. I have it, and I'm like I wouldn't mind me logging because I don't use it right now. You can have to use it.
Dude, that'd be cool.
So I'll check like when I'm
not
using
it.
After
the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're saying trailers right now that we're at the mid of the year. Well, we're at the mid of the year, and you want to talk about some of the trailers that we're expecting at the end of this upcoming week?
Well, I did want to start by saying you're Franky.
Oh, thank you. I am Franky.
You're Franky, and I'm Julian.
Yes.
Franky.
Yes.
Give us a good 30 seconds about you.
Franky, I am what's considered a film fan, comic fan. I love all that stuff. Film is my life. I resort, like everything I do, I can return back into a film conversation if I had a chance with anyone. That's the way you can kind of relate to me and talk, where you can just go for hours. I think that's where you and me get along so well. We have that kind of love for...
We met in film school.
Yeah.
I thought initially that he was just a douchebag trying to make it in film to shoot his girlfriend's, modeling gigs.
Yeah.
But no, he ended up surprising me. And, despite the pop collars and the Dracar Noir scent, like I was like, this guy's fucking cool. He's a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Yeah. He's a huge superhero Marvel fan. He also loves a lot of indie films, and he's a fan of everything. He can appreciate the horror. I'm more the horror guy.
Yeah.
I'm Julian. I am also a big film fan. I mean, my house is definitely
one of the coolest houses I've ever seen.
I mean, it's not necessarily.
Yes, it is.
A house, but I was going to say it is cool. It is the coolest place you've ever seen, but it's not a house; it's an apartment. There's a lot of posters. There's a lot of collectibles. I'm a big time nerd, and I can talk horror all day because that's what my passion is. I left college to go to film school because I wanted to make horror movies, and eventually I hope to get to do that. Like most of our favorite directors started later in life, and hopefully. I just haven't gotten that start yet, and it's been a lot of transitioning for me from moving constantly to losing loved ones to losing jobs and here and there, and that's why it's been taking me some time, but eventually I will get to it, and I have connections, so that's a good thing too.
A big thing, yeah.
I have a lot of horror people connections. Horror people is what we call them, and hopefully it gets there someday. But for now, we're doing this podcast, and that's a good start too, because if I plan on pushing this as much as I can, and
we plan on doing it, and I mean, because I think now that I've known Julian now, it's going to be almost 8 years, man. 2011.
We went to film school together.
2010, 2011. Yeah,
Yeah.
and by context, I think like with just like a lot of our friends, like if we were going off of appearance, like people would have assumed that me and you would not have gotten along, but we get along. You're not. I'm saying because of the fact of like what you said, the douchebaggery of myself. But I'm like his love for
Frankie's
like,
got a very Long Beach surfer look to him, but he's a big time nerd.
I think we're good because we can I do have that. He was right. The Main Street like Marvel and all those crap, and he can root me back down to like you got to watch some of this A24, some indie stuff and all that stuff, and I'm like in the horror stuff that
Ironically, I'm the hipster movie fan, but I look nothing like a hipster.
It's and I think that when all of us are like together and when we do all the other stuff, it doesn't seem like any of us should get along. Like it really doesn't. Like the groups that we're gonna be at Comic-Con with, it's like it should not work. We have like a real hipster, a chunty Mexican.
To any real chunty Mexicans listening, no offense.
Yeah, no, we mean that with all nothing but love and. Yeah, and
it's Mexicans.
But it's true.
I've heard that word in so long.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like I think, and when we talk about each thing, each one of us has like something different.
Which one's the chunty Mexican?
Well, you make the pick.
Because I was gonna say Danny. Oh yeah. No.
But it's good because we all have like a different content. Like we all have different things that we could bring into the conversation when we're all sitting around.
Yeah.
And even when we're not podcasting, we literally talk about nothing but. Business
I was telling him the whole time I want to go get fucking coffee right now. He was talking about movies, and I'm just like, save it for the podcast. And I feel like a jerk because that's what we talk about. So it's like it was just silent.
Yeah, we're like, what do we?
No, we're talking about.
How about LeBron?
No,
we live in LA, so
no. But yeah, that's us. Yeah. I'm gonna try to. God, I'm probably gonna have to try to edit this because it's very long.
It's fun.
So yeah, no, I'll edit that. What I'm saying right now. So or leave it. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? But we are at the mid of the year, and we do have, we have a few of the trailers that we want to kind of talk about. But I think we should start with maybe we're at the mid-year film right now.
We're in a mid-year film. It's July 12th.
Yeah.
And that's like pretty much dead on. I mean, I guess June 15th would be the mid-year. Right?
Yeah, you want to go to technicalities.
Yeah, but say that again?
Technicalities? June 15th? I'm not good at math. I've established at this point.
Yeah.
But I
think as I was going to say,
there's a point now when we've seen, you're just like me, we watch as many films as we possibly try. I mean, we do have a concept, and it's a lot easier to watch some of these films these days now with certain subscription things that we've used.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because I think we could even start with that because that's been a help to me.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, most of the films I've watched have been, and I was going to say, you just gave me statistics that you had. You've seen how many movies since 2007 according to your calculations?
687.
You don't have to give the exact number.
Yeah, but it is.
687?
Yeah, since January.
How much money?
$10,682.
And this guy has kept a spreadsheet since then.
Yeah, I've watched, and we decided on the minutes. It was I couldn't read it for some odd reason, but it was like 81,200 and what was it? 81,254 minutes of movies alone.
So those statistics are real.
They are.
He has kept a spreadsheet since 2007 on his MacBook. And before that, because he didn't even have that MacBook, because that was before film school. Yeah. So you must have been just emailing that shit to yourself and keeping it safe. And this dude is a real deal moviegoer.
And these were paid for, like again, this prior to the movie pass.
This is before the subscriptions that we are about to cover. At least not cover, but talk about and discuss casually. I have Movie Pass.
As do I.
Do you have the new AMC one?
Not yet.
Have you heard about it?
I'm for sure getting it the week we get back from Comic-Con. Because whenever you buy it, that's your selective purchase date for monthly payments. And I have all my payments of every bill around at the end of the 20th. So I was going to get it earlier. But right now, it's an interesting thing with the whole Movie Pass and the AMC. I'm pretty sure Regal and everything else is going to jump on board. But when Movie Pass started, I think you kind of got me on, a few people, and you were one of the few ones that got it. I was so excited about it. I got a lot of people to join. But we watched. I remember we watched the CEO. I went home and you told me to watch the CEO, how they were making everything last, and
Oh yeah.
I wanted to believe everything he was saying. As soon as
I wish I hadn't seen that because that was the first time I ever felt, oh fuck.
yeah, no, and me as well. And I was like, I remember I couldn't understand. I originally went to school for business, and I couldn't grasp like how are they making money? I'm like, is this gonna work? It was too good to be true.
Yeah.
And as you're going along, they were removing my viewings of like the same movie. Like that pissed me off. I was like, what? That's what I got it pre-Avengers. So I was like, I'm gonna watch 4 of my viewings, so at least it'll be with the movie pass. I wouldn't have to pay for them. Because even if I didn't like the movie or whatever would have happened.
Oh yeah, and you're the multiple viewing guy.
Yeah.
If I ever knew any of them, if I ever knew anyone who watched multiple movies on the same day, the same movie on the same day multiple times, it's you.
Yeah.
You're the epitome of that guy. You are the reason MoviePass probably put that.
And that's what I felt like. I'm like, they took that away. And I don't know how that felt with you. Because you do get the broad.
It only bugged me that they were doing it so fucking randomly.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't watch the same movie more than once.
Which is, yeah.
Unless I really like it. Like I'm dying to go see Hereditary again, which we'll talk about later.
We will.
And because I missed a lot of things that I was like, oh yeah, because I always watch a review when I get home from the movies. I don't watch them before. I try to avoid everything before.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get home, if it's one of those type of movies like Hereditary, one that just keeps me thinking afterwards, I'll watch the review and just see what people say. But after I've made up my own mind, I don't go in blank. I whoever I'm with, normally with my friend, I talk to her about what I thought. She talks to me about what she thought, and then I go home and see what other people on the internet thought. And
I think that for you that you don't. So the initial plan of what was it? The movie pass for me was okay. I don't mind cuffing over the multiple viewings for me, and I didn't care. It didn't affect me as much, but I do watch them a lot. So I was like, you know what? This is gonna force me to go watch those indie films that I don't go out of my way to watch. Because at the end of the year, when I make my top 10, it's all Main Street big blockbusters, and I have always my lower tier that are like honorable mentions are those like indies that it should have been and I loved, but I know for a fact that. I usually don't pay out of them, so I watch them at home, and I don't get the same experience. So that was why I was excited for Movie Pass. I can watch any movie. I'm going to force myself to go and do that. And I was doing that, and I thought it was all worked out. I actually didn't pay the monthly fee. I paid for it all up front.
Oh, you did?
So I was like, because I did it right when they did the $7.99 deal. So I'm like, I'm just going to pay for it. So I won't have
How much was it?
A total of $90 for the whole year.
Okay.
So I will have the same thing. And,
that's 1 month of movies normally, right?
Exactly.
If not more.
So
for you,
because of the amount.
How much do you spend? How much did you spend the first week of episode 2? Episode 9.
9. I watched it 5 times, and I only got
8.
movies.
Sorry.
8, and I watched Movie Pass it once. Alone of that was 13
that was
times.
when Movie Pass was out already.
Yeah.
No,
So
how much did you spend on?
for Black Panther prior? I didn't have that, and I watched it 3 times. I had already spent what's 15 times 3.
Yeah.
That's
45.
And that was in 2 days.
Yeah.
So I paid it all up front, and I was like, cool. And once I do read the terms and agreements now because they screwed us over because I had no idea about the second viewings, but they did put it on the terms and agreements. We have the right to change the process. However, what they couldn't do is now that they do the surcharges and all that crap, they can't do that to me. They can do that to
I was about to bring that up because I was like, they changed that. Oh, they can't do that to you.
Not to me because I have paid. They don't have my card file. They don't have anything. I can't. I would have to enter my file on the card. I paid for everything.
Wait a minute. So you paid up front?
Yeah. So how
did you pay up front?
They had asked you
with
commitment
with
or
the card though, right?
Yeah, which they have it on file. But prime example, this last week I went to.
I don't have my card on file then.
You don't?
I only pay I paid monthly, but just like you paid for the whole year. Yeah. I mean, your card is on file.
Well, it is, but I thought for everything went into kick last week, and I thought for sure Ant-Man and the Wasp when I have to pay that surcharge.
It's different. It's not necessarily.
But it's on a Friday. I went on a Friday night, and that's what I'm saying. I thought it was going to affect it. And I do watch most movies on Thursday nights, so it's it's not the surcharges.
I feel like you haven't seen it yet, but it's going to pop up because I've heard people who paid yearly,
and it's popped up.
It's popped up,
and that'll bum me out when it happens.
Yeah,
this is why
it's like a $2 charge to that, and it's still a great deal.
It still is,
with the stupid surcharge, even if you don't, because sometimes you don't have to see it with the surcharge.
Of course, and I get that, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of my friends who I got on board to do it, they're bummed out and angry about how it went down. And I'm like, but you're still saving. You would come to the movies with me. You pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Now you're still getting them for free. If you pay for one, whoop-de-fucking-do. It's not a big deal. But
I feel like it's definitely a membership that you would appreciate regardless of the changes of these changes. Fuck, what am I trying to say? It's one of the members. It's a type of membership that you would appreciate if you're an avid movie goer.
Exactly.
Like me and you. Like before I worked at AMC, I was going every week. I was going almost three times a week. I was unemployed. You know, that was like right when Roddy died. And don't even need to explain that. But it's just to get the conversation going. And I would literally go once a week. Not twice, 2 to 3 times a week, pay about sometimes I would pay full price. Sometimes I would try to make the morning show because it was $8.
The matinee, yeah.
Yeah, and most of the time I tried to do mornings so I could pay $8. But a lot of times I didn't, and I ended up spending like over $100 a month.
Yeah, and
so if I had MoviePass then, it
you
would have been
saved.
Fucking awesome, even with the surcharge. If it had started with the surcharge, but what people are upset about, and it's understandable, is that they're just doing it. But like you said, you read the term and agreement.
I knew.
I didn't, and most people didn't.
Of course.
Nobody reads that shit.
No, yeah.
But so that's happening now, and it's because you didn't read the fucking agreements and terms, and of course you're going to be upset because you're thinking they're doing it under.
It's messed up or whatever.
But it is in the term and agreements, and it was to begin with. So you really can't be upset, especially when it was already like it's been going up. My friend has had it since the beginning, back when apparently it was $40 a month.
Yeah.
And
that's still a good deal.
And that's still a good deal. That's why
if you're a movie that goes often, that's a good deal.
Yeah, she had it, and she had it forever, like right when it started. And so did my friend Lewis. He had it back when. He's like, dude, just get it. It's like $40 a month, like $39.99, and you get this card in the mail and just swipe and you get to go to the movies. And I was just like, $40.
Yeah, it's always, yeah.
Everybody, who are these people? Blah blah blah. But now it's like insanely priced, and with the surcharge, like it's fine. But the AMC deal. That is just
that's the model. Good. That's the model that I think, and AMC they can see it as like they were talking smack about it at the beginning, but they went in, they studied, and they perfected it. Look, that deal is just really good. You get my thing about MoviePass is I can't save my seats if I'm going with friends that don't have the MoviePass. They have to either hopefully they're that random person that buys that one reserved seat that no one's gonna pick next to them, so I can take it. But if not, I'm not guaranteed. I have to go like an hour or a few hours early in the morning to get my ticket. I'm like, that's not convenient if I'm working. AMC, I'm already a Premier member and all that stuff. So this is going to benefit me sufficiently. It's going to force me to go to AMC theaters. And I still have MoviePass for years. So the movies that I can't watch, I'm like, I can use.
Whenever you're stuck going to Regal?
Yeah, Regal or any other smaller art house theaters that are in Long Beach that I go to. And that's what I'm like, as soon as they talked everything that they were offering for AMC, I'm like, holy shit, it's like, They understand it. $20 a month. You got to commit for 3 months up front, and then it's $20. I'm like, I watched when I paid for Ant-Man and the Wasp for my second viewing. That was $15. $15 for. I had just seen the movie with MoviePass, and I went the same night to go watch it again. I'm like, what the hell? Like, might as well sign up to the AMC today. $20. There it is. And I can now go 3 movies a week. That's the same amount that we watch. I can watch all 3 of them, the same movie, back to back to back, and then I can go next week to watch a different one. So it's like,
or you can go the same week and watch a 4th one with your MoviePass.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's just,
and it's any format. That's the best part because you can go to IMAX, you can go to 3D, Dolby.
Yeah, like
you can everything. So.
And that's I don't feel guilty because one of the worst things. I mean, I feel guilty, but I did the kiosk thing where like I didn't want to if I want to get my rewards, I wouldn't want them to look at me with a judgmental face.
Yeah. No, the best thing about it, that's why I get all my rewards at Regal.
Yeah. Okay.
And Regal has a swag reward system too.
Oh.
Where you can I took it down, but there's the movie Ghost Story. It's by A24. I got the poster for free from Regal with my points.
So that's things like that.
Shit like that. Like I'm hoping they put up a Halloween poster.
Oh, those, yeah.
Because that's what I want. And I have people. I don't work at AMC anymore, but I have friends that work at AMC, and he one of them's a manager. And I'm like waiting for him because he's like, I'm gonna try to get you the Halloween. I'm like, cool, thanks, man.
And that's cool. And
But I'm afraid to ask, hey, how's it going? Getting me a Halloween, right?
No, yeah.
But
You
I'll
have
ask
too
him.
much class.
Yeah.
I want to ask you for any other things I want to see. Just get them for me, please.
Yeah.
And I think, but in the long haul, like if your movie, I mean, these are still good. I was gonna get the Cinemia one as well.
My friend has that, and it's cool because she lives by the ArcLight in Hollywood, by the one by Amoeba, and it fucking works.
Yeah,
and that's an expensive ass theater.
It is.
So
again,
I wanted to get it because I live by that too, but I moved, so I didn't.
if you go to the movies as often as we go, these things are good. You save money. It's expensive as hell to go there, and it actually does.
When you think about it, having a movie pass as a backup and the AMC thing, you're covered everywhere except for like ArcLight for $30 a month. $30 fucking bucks a month,
and I get to watch
everything anywhere.
And
basically,
I love that concept.
And the thing with the AMC one, as someone who worked at AMC for 2 years and was the top seller of AMC stubs in our store, so much that I have fucking I still have coupons in my wallet as a thank you that they gave me, coupons for fucking movies, for shit that I could have redeemed while as an employee there, but I can't anymore because I completely forgot to do it before I quit. I was the top seller in that location. My statistics stand I'm like number one according to the computers if they ever looked it up. This would have been like the best fucking thing to pitch, which is the only thing I'm like, fuck, I wish I worked there because I could have sold so many of these because it is one of those too good to be true things where it's like $20. People bitched about $20 a movie ticket. That's how much we charged for a Prime.
Yeah.
So, at $21.49 actually for a Prime. So it's funny because those people are going to go... You want to answer that?
No, never do.
Those people are going to go to the movie. This is how you're going to pitch this. They're going to go to the movie. People who are completely ignorant about this membership. They're going to go to the movie on Thursday night. They're going to ask for Ant-Man and Dolby. It's going to be $21.49 or they can pay $19.99. And they're going to be like, what do you mean? But you get three movies a week. You get all this other shit. And you're a member with us. And you can choose to not renew it next month. And they're gonna be like, okay, we'll pay $1.50 less, and we get this month-long membership.
And I think that's where people
It is insane.
And I love it. And I think AMC got it right. And again, for me,
did they though? Because they were $20 a ticket, so I don't know how the fuck it's gonna work. Still,
there was an article today. I didn't fully go into it, but because some of this money has to go back to the studios and all that stuff, and it's going to be interesting. But 20 sounds more believable than 7 or 10 that Movie Pass was. They can still profit off of it, and it's true because I now buy concessions, which I never did. My mind just, oh shit, I didn't pay for anything. I'm gonna buy myself something.
Yeah,
and it works, and that's where you guys make your money anyway. So 80% of everything ticket sales goes to the studio. So
I'm not part of the you guys anymore. But yeah, they make most of their money through concessions.
And at the end, and again, because like for the amount of things that I've got to watch now, is why I was going to say, because for the next thing, like we're mid-movie, and I've used Movie Pass since I've had it now since March. And it's allowed me to see more films, which then kind of helps me tell you what some of my favorite movies where we currently are at right now before we finish the end of the year with, Midsummer's ready. We already got the big blockbusters. They already happened in May. We have a few stragglers, but this year we seem to have good things coming in September, October, Halloween, and so forth, the Oscar season towards the end. But I'm like, at the beginning of where we're at now, there's movies that you've seen and I've seen, and you've mentioned one of them earlier that, you know what, I'm so happy I watched it in theaters. Mm-hmm. And it's something that resonates and sticks with me. And then I've watched some other stuff that I would have never paid for. I would have just watched at home. Mm-hmm. But because I had the pass, I went in, I watched them in a theater with a full house, and they've impacted me in amazing ways. And that's where I'm like, right now, where do you think, if we want to talk about our second thing that we have on here, it's like the whole, where, if you had your top 10 movies of right now, we could also go the downwards way. We can go like 10 to 5.
I can do that.
Then we can end up our number ones if you want to do that. Do you want to start yours?
Yeah, I mean,
And you don't have to talk a lot if you don't want about each, like the 10th spot or whatever.
I'll talk however the fuck I want, right?
No, I'm saying that
No. I have my list, and back to what you were saying though, real quick. Like, Movie Pass and this AMC thing are gonna pretty much Movie Pass already changed because changed the way movies are being viewed because of its availability to people and just how easy it is to go see the stuff that you don't want to spend. You don't want to spend, because I knew every year, man. Every year I've known you. I've asked you, have you seen fucking Swiss Army Man? Have you seen fucking, did you see fucking Shape of Water? Did you see Three Billboards? No. Why?
I don't want to pay for it.
I just don't want to, and I'm like, you should though.
And that's one of the things I regret for myself, because I missed on good opportunities.
You missed all of those.
In January, when the wide releases come for like Shape of Water, I went to theaters. I watched it twice right after that. I'm like, holy shit, like, Julian was right, like, I fucked up.
And good thing they have that Oscar thing. Good thing they were nominated, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I watched that was my third time.
You got to see them.
Yeah.
You got to see them, so that's good. But even that showcase thing is like you would have seen them all if you had Movie Pass already. So, like, that's why it's pretty damn awesome. And the age we live in. I mean, who knows? 2019 could be the year that Movie Pass dies.
Yeah.
And that's when AMC, and that's what I'm afraid of too, because I feel like if Movie Pass dies, AMC's going to be like, well, we don't need to compete anymore. Yeah. So even though they were never competing, it's just this weird fucking ego bash thing. I think and that's what I feel like it is. Because I worked at AMC and we had summits where we talked about Movie Pass and how they're just affecting us, and I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense because they're just paying for our ticket. It's like if Wells Fargo offered a Movie Pass. You know? They're like, we'll make you a card and we'll just pay for your ticket if you join us, if you open a bank account with us, and they still get the money. But I can see just it's a fucking mess. That's why AMC started their own thing. And as far as me opening the AMC thing, I'm probably going to do it. The thing is, there's a Regal right next to where I live.
They're gonna create their own thing, guarantee you.
And if they do, I don't really go to. I mean, I go to AMC with my friend, but I've gone to Regal and I go to Edwards in Alhambra a lot too, which is Regal essentially. Yeah. And I get the points there. I get the free beverages every now and then and shit like that. But the AMC one's good, and I feel like I would go more to AMC if I had it. So I'm thinking about getting it after Comic-Con as well, just so I can start. Because I was like, so many things I'm actually waiting on. Like, I haven't renewed my PlayStation, I haven't renewed my Amazon's renewed. I'm probably not going to renew it until after Comic-Con because I don't want to waste them. Literally 2 weeks are going to be gone because of Comic-Con afterwards. So, hey, get off the table. Get off the table. All right,
she wants to partake and enjoy our conversation here.
Thanks, you have something to say? Huh? Hey. Oh. All right. So anyway, I'm glad we had this discussion.
Yeah, it was good. That's a good talk. Because of movie lovers, it's just, no matter what.
As movie lovers,
this works.
It's great. Yeah. As casual moviegoers who
even
never
as
really
consumers, it's still good.
Yeah, it's good. And there's a lot of skeptical people who just went to the movies once or twice a year, and that never wanted to sign up for any of it because they just only go once or twice a year. That did now because they have the
as long as we keep going. I just want movies to be around. I don't want this whole subscription on TV. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's not the same, and I'll never understand why people say that.
Yeah, and it's could eventually all be streaming. No, fuck that.
Fuck that. I will refuse that shit.
You can't watch Shape of Water at home for the first time. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. I said that to my friend who said, I'm going to wait for a Blu-ray. I'm like, it's not going to be the same. Like, I have it on Blu-ray. I watched it the other day, and I was like, is it my favorite movie of the year? I loved it on Blu-ray. It just didn't feel as magical. It's so much different. But it is. It's still my favorite movie of last year. But this year...
For this year, right now...
this year, Mike, for this half year...
Yes, of course, because it's going to change by the end of the year.
Yeah, because Halloween's going to join this list no matter what.
You know what? I believe that it's going to join my list, too.
Like I told somebody, even if it's 90 minutes of Michael Myers taking his shit, I'm going to fucking like it. So, it's just Myers. My fucking entire sleeping space is Halloween themed.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Beyond, we'll talk later for that, but I'm excited.
Yeah, we have a trailer to react to in a bit. So I actually just watched a movie that made this list, and so I'm going to start with that because it is the number 10, and I still want to get your thoughts on it too. I don't know if I want to. You know what? Let's just react to all of these. Number 10, my number 10 of the year so far. It might change. Was Solo. That was bumped down to number 11. That was bumped down to number 11, and I haven't seen your number 9 either. We'll talk about it. Don't show me that because I want to get my, Number 10 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought it was fine. I liked it a little bit more than Solo because I just love the kookiness of it.
Yeah.
I love comedies, so I'm a big fan of comedies, and it was straight up a comedy. And we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But number 9 was Unsane. And you know what? I want to get your number 10 and number 9 after. But Unsane, fucking amazing.
Steven Soderbergh comes back to form.
Yeah, fucking just so good, dude. Yeah. All shot on iPhone. It was just. There's so much to talk about it. There's so much to talk about when talking about Unsane. But yeah, I fucking loved it. The fucking performances were insane. Not insane, but insane. It's so fucking good. Just watch it. What's your number 10 and number 9?
All right, my number 10 is Solo.
A Star Wars movie is not in your top 5.
And it probably won't be at the top 10 at the end of the year at this rate.
Oh, really?
It's
shocking.
It's a shocker, and it's a showing again. I was expecting failure from that Star Wars movie. You and me have talked off mic, and we don't have to go into the details of the current state of Star Wars, but I think it's unfair. I hate the Star Wars fans right now, how we're acting. Like, we're dividing ourselves so much,
agree.
and I hate it. But at the same time, I went in with such low expectations for Solo. And I was like, my main concern was if I cannot buy this guy as Han Solo, if I cannot believe this is the same guy that grows to be the guy in episode 7, I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this film. A few minutes in, I got lost, and it was just a fun. I didn't have to overthink anything. I just enjoyed myself, and I'm like, this is just a Star Wars movie.
Keep in mind, top 10 is good. So even though it's number 10, it's good. It's a good spot.
It's on Sunday.
You've seen like 50 movies already.
Yeah, I have seen 50, and I'm saying and I still enjoyed it as a Star Wars film. I'm like, you know what? I didn't like trip about it. I didn't go home like, oh my god, that's the best. I'm just like, this is good characters, good fun. It's a heartfelt dude who's gonna get jaded somehow, and I love that. And I was like, you know what? If the Star Wars movie doesn't make it at the end of the year, I'm still gonna buy it. I enjoyed it back to back. To me, there's a lot of problems with the new regime, but I'm enjoying them as the movies come along. My number 9 is Love, Simon.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's such Greg Berlanti did a great job with this film. He directed it.
I forgot about that.
And he was able to invoke. It's not even the concept of this closet dude that's trying to come out. It was just a nice coming of age high school film that we can all relate ourselves. Like when kids are just bullying you and doing things in high school, just kind of in a much more modern way than when we were going to school. But it worked. I was like, through the movie, you find yourself rooting for this kid to solve the conflict in this film, and I'm like smiling, feeling happy, and it felt like a combination of like Edge of 17, which came out in 2 years ago, which I really loved, with a much more like John Hughes type of film. It was just like the cast and crew was like they had not the cast and crew. I'm sorry, like the cast had such good chemistry, and I was like, I just had a good time, and it was like a heartfelt, like awesome, like parents struggling like to not because he's gay, you just parents, if you're different, you have to try to open up. And I just thought it was a good, like, teenage film that I was like, wow, I didn't expect it. I went in as movie pass one. I'm like, it looks interesting. I had nothing to watch. And I wanted to, and I ended up enjoying it tremendously. Will it be at the end of the top 10 at the year? Probably, I don't know if it stays there, but as of now, it'll probably be an honorable mention. Unsane, I wanted to go so bad, but the week that it came out, it was one of those, I'll remember because I had it every day. I'm like, okay, if I get off work this time, I'm going to go. And it was one of those I worked doubles and I was coming out so tired, and it passed those weeks, and I'm like, Steven Soderbergh shot him an iPhone. I want to watch so bad. And then it came and went because it didn't do so well.
And you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh. Okay.
And I want to see it.
I didn't talk about it then.
No. And I'm glad that you didn't go into detail because I like the cast. Claire Foy, I like Claire Foy, and I'm intrigued to see what she does in Girl in the Spider's Web, I think. Yeah. And I'm like, I was so bummed that I missed that. So that's my 10th.
The thing is, I missed it in theaters. I rented it, and
okay.
It's actually good on TV too, on your regular TV screen too, because it's shot on iPhone.
Yeah.
And you could tell it's not like that doesn't look iPhone. It fucking looks iPhone. And it's interesting that it looks iPhone because it's just like, wow, they made it work, but it looks iPhone. Nice. And it doesn't need to be on the big screen. You'll enjoy that.
Okay, I'll definitely get that one to look.
And if anything, you'll probably like it more on home because it's probably, I can't imagine some of the shots looking that good on a big screen.
Yeah.
I know it was remastered in 4K, I believe, or transferred in 4K or whatever.
That makes
technicalities. Yeah.
What's your number 8?
Number 8 is going to shock you as a horror fan. It's A Quiet Place.
Oh, wow. It's going to shock, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Quiet Place, I thought it was fine. I thought it was very good. I just find very good. I thought it was very good, not fine. See, this is where I fucking hate. I hate when I fucking just ramble and make no sense. I didn't get much sleep, so...
It's okay.
Okay. A Quiet Place, to me, was a great theater viewing. I will see it again, but it probably will never be as good as the first time because of my experience in the theater with the silence and just everybody being... It was a packed house. Everyone was silent. Whenever somebody munched on popcorn, everybody would like look at them.
Yes,
and it was such a different experience that I don't see myself seeing it again and having the same experience. It was very entertaining. It was a pretty cool story, pretty cool concept with the aliens. You've seen it, right? Yeah. So without spoiling anything, without spoiling any of these movies, we'll just talk briefly about them. I thought, it was pretty interesting to see a dude from The Office act and direct.
Wow, I was very. We'll talk a little bit later about that.
It's a really good. Is it his debut directorial?
No, it's his third.
Oh, there you go. It's first horror movie, I assume. Yeah, so there you go. It's a very good first. He
paid homage and good respect to, I believe, to the horror. The way he dealt with everything in the film and again the theater experience that I had in that theater is probably why you'll find out where it ranks on my list a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, and this is based on that. This is based on that, but also based on how it'll live in my
consciousness and
my consciousness in my future movie and my future viewings of it and in my fandom for it.
Gotcha.
Because these movies are also like they're ranked based on how I like movies and what I will put on my wall if I ever got a poster of,
gotcha.
And, shirts or whatever, and how I celebrate the movie existing for the rest of my life. And I feel like A Quiet Place, I'll just be like, yeah, that was a good one from 2018, and someone gave me a Quiet Place poster. I'll probably hang it up in the closet. It's cool. I liked it. I loved it, though. I loved it.
Yeah, it's just the theater I get you. I understand with this.
It was a great experience, and it was a great film. But
maybe not going to resonate with you in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, and we're doing 8
7.
And 7.
Yeah.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
That's one that I'm a huge fan of. Huge fan of Marvel. Huge fan of DC. Infinity War was fucking awesome. Like I said, number 10 through 1.
These are movies you love.
They're movies I love. They're not movies I'm like. My reaction to A Quiet Place was honest, and most people would think it would be like number 1 or 2, but it's just what it was. And even though it's horror, it's not gonna beat Infinity War because Infinity War was fucking just epic, and it's one of those that will stick with me forever. And hopefully they end it better than ever, because better than any movie they've ever made, because it's been a celebration of
things we never
10 years,
10 years,
10 years of Marvel movies that I've been growing up with.
The longest TV show.
Yeah, I'm 30 this year, and I guess I started watching them when I was 20, which makes me feel old as fuck because Iron Man was out when I was 20. I forgot sort of high school.
Likewise too. I'm like, I couldn't believe that.
I was already an adult, so it's
crazy.
Definitely one of those movies that it was great from beginning to end. I was fucking thoroughly delighted by it, and I will hang a poster in my office because I have one.
Nice.
From the movie theaters, and that's just that.
Cool. For me, on my number 8 spot, I have Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2.
14 years of waiting, and the way I looked at it was.
I forgot to put that on my list.
Yeah, Incredibles 2. I waited for years, and it delivered. I was so caught off guard, man.
I just say that Incredibles 2 is actually probably my number 9.
Hey, it's okay. You can make adjustments
because I forgot to put that on my list, and I'm like, I've seen that
Leatherbox,
and it's not because I know, and it's not on my list, and oh my god, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine, dude.
Ant-Man is knocked out.
Yeah,
and Incredibles 2 is actually better than A Quiet Place and Insane. So
and. That's a good thing because Incredibles 2 to me was a film that I went in high expectations. I'm like, you're taking 14 years, you better give me something worthwhile. Yeah. And from the beginning of the little Pixar short to the end of the film, I was like, just so happy. My only downfall with that film, it's not a spoiler or anything. I could predict something that happens in that film so on the nose. I was like, okay, something to do with like the antagonist. I was like, other than that, I love the film. Everything,
Yeah.
the characters, they felt,
I mean-
felt, and it's a nitpick at that because it's still,
Yeah.
they did the job. But then you're going against Syndrome from the first one. It's just like a big villain you have to deal with, and it's, you're not gonna top that guy. So I was like, okay. I came out happy and joyful, and I want another one, but I don't think I can wait another 14 years. I'll probably die before then. So please give me.
I don't think they're gonna wait that long. I mean,
They made way too much money.
the Cars 1 and 2 weren't that split that far apart.
Yeah, but those are cars. Those are pieces of crap.
Yeah,
You're
true.
a Cars fans.
Yeah, those movies suck.
My number 7 was Upgrade. Upgrade. I actually, Lee Winnell, I've been a fan. I'm a Saw fan, so he gave me that. I didn't mind his Insidious 3. I thought it was enjoyable. But in this one, it just reminded me of a just fun 80s action film. Like, it felt like RoboCop, like in a modern time.
Yeah.
Like, basically, the trailer of Venom, I was just like having a great time. I had horror vibes with some fun, like cheesy action that would fit in the 80s. And I was like, I always forget his name, but the guy looks like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I'm like-
But my friend called him Discount Tom Hardy.
Discount Tom. He proved to me on that, like I believed everything he was doing in that film, and I had a great time. I went by myself. I was going to go with friends, which is a weird thing because apparently even if the tickets are on sale and if you didn't buy them on Fandango, you can look that no one's purchased another ticket. My friends got there at the time the tickets were going to sell. I was already inside, and they wouldn't let them in because they didn't purchase their tickets. They were like, but the movie hasn't started. He's like, oh, it started already. He's like, we can't sell you. I just think those employees were lazy and wanted to leave. And
That's bullshit because
Yeah.
I work at a movie theater and you can do it.
that's the thing. Like, so I was like, they played you guys. But I ended up watching the film, and I was happy that I went. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This is it's just a fun. Like, it might not stay there at the end of the year, but I couldn't lie with my emotions. I'm like, oh my god, this is an original take on a lot of concepts in one, and like a blender, but it was fun. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, Upgrade was enjoyable.
I mean, I will talk about it in a little bit because
Yeah.
it's online.
Nice. What's your 6 and 5?
My 6 and 5 is a movie called Thoroughbreds.
Okay.
It's my number 6.
Yeah.
It was a very fucking good movie.
Damn it, I
It
wanna see
starred Anya
And-
Taylor-Joy.
Mhm.
Is that her name?
Yep, Anna Taylor-Joy, and then you have
And,
what's her name?
Yeah, I don't
Girl from
remember.
Bates Motel.
Yes, them. It was essentially a movie about 2 teen girls who, one of them is a tutor, and the other girl is a rich girl who's being tutored by her friend. And they, what else? I don't know. It's hard to.
It's
talk about.
without spoiling it. It's also Anthony Yelchin's last movie.
Yes, Antonio Chen is in
Antonio
it, and
Yelchin,
it's his last movie, and
Delivers.
I remember leaving the movie theater thinking, like, being very sad because it's, and even in the credits it said in memory of Anton
Oh
Yelchin.
man.
And I just thought, I remember looking at my friend and being like, Anton Yelchin had the best fucking agent
Yeah.
because he did nothing but great fucking work, man.
Always.
And he was the up and comer, man.
He was
like,
gonna be
based
big.
on his like.
You start
If you look
from
at
his
his
young days,
resume,
from the
nothing
beginning.
sucks.
No, yeah. Even you go
Nothing.
back all the way to Alpha Die. I enjoy
No-
Alpha
yeah.
Die. So
Nothing sucks that he ever did, even Star Trek.
yeah.
The worst thing you could say he did was probably Star Trek Beyond or whatever.
Into
which
Darkness,
was
not
yeah.
Beyond. Beyond was good.
Was he in Beyond?
Yeah.
Oh, Into Darkness. Yeah, but I was gonna say even that didn't suck.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like you
Yeah.
know. But everything else, Green Room,
Talented
fucking
dude.
everything.
Green Room.
Great guy. Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah. Of course, man. Talented
But,
dude. So
yeah,
I gotta watch
I don't
Thoroughbreds.
want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I want to say it's
I'll-
if I even tell you what.
Yeah, don't tell me because I want to
Yeah,
watch it.
Watch it. It's
Okay.
fucking bloody. I'll tell you
Okay,
that.
I love that.
All right, so was it bloody? I don't know. That was a bloody event.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Deadpool 2.
Nice.
Deadpool 2 was better than the first one. And Deadpool 2 would have probably been number 9 if it wasn't for the fucking end credits. End credits just bumped it from number 9 to
Really?
number 5.
Oh, the end credits lifted it up for you.
Yeah, I
fucking
said
yeah.
I love the movie. It would have been in my top 10, like lower, but if it wasn't for just like as soon as the end credits came on, I was like number 5.
Nice.
Like it bumped it up 4 spots immediately. And not, it was just overall fucking fun, man. Like I'm thinking about it, and I just want to watch it again now.
It's such a good movie. I watched it a few times.
just so much
and
fun.
It's gonna be a little bit of a thing, but that's actually my number 11. It's
Okay.
Yeah, not because it was on the list
Oh,
until
it's
this
still
past
there.
week when I watched a few movies that really just changed my mind a little bit. My 1 and 2 were been on tank for the longest, but
Yeah.
Deadpool just got bumped out because 2 new movies I watched, and
I'm
it's gonna
surprised
be.
Solo's better than it though.
It was just it was a hit or miss. I kept flopping them within that week, so Solo kept going off and not. But Deadpool, I just had a great time. Those end credit scenes. I love the Celine Dion. I love the opening credit scenes. Everything was so.
I love all the jokes about the DC.
Oh God,
I
love that.
It's just so good.
And
it's a fun fucking
it
time,
is.
Especially if you're a fan of the superhero movies. Like it's just so much fun.
Yeah, it was. If we were in the, do you want to talk more about those two? Because if you want to talk about the superhero, my 6 and 5 are pretty much superhero films anyway. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Because that was your 6 and 5, right?
That was my 6 and 5, yes.
Yeah. So to continue on the superhero trend, my number 6 is Black Panther, and my number 5 is Avengers: Infinity War. I think Black Panther is a better film, like a really well-made film, and I think that'll be the one people can study. And you can wow, that's good storytelling, directing, villains, everything about that movie worked better. But Infinity War, it was just Infinity War. I just couldn't believe that I was watching this, and it affected me.
Infinity War was like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And like Black Panther was like a good episode of Raw or something.
Oh, come on.
No, maybe another. Yeah, no. I was
the second biggest, or the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I figured you.
But they're both movies. The way I look at it with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Marvel knocked it 3-3 this year. They had no problem.
It's funny because you're like, but Black Panther is actually higher than Infinity War for me.
No, for you?
For me, yeah.
Okay, and it's crazy because I love Black Panther. Just the experience. I love theater experiences, and I think that's how I rank a lot of my movies for myself, whether if I'm with a group of people or friends. I will never give away the reactions of the laughters or certain things that happen in the film. Everyone's seen the movie, so they know when things happen. Me knowing things, following things, I'm like, this can't be. Yeah. But it still got me. I'm like, holy fucking shit. It made me wanting to just Ant-Man and the Wasp. Same thing. Completely forget because I enjoyed this comedy with Paul Rudd. It felt like I Love You Man with superheroes. And I was enjoying the film, and then things happen, and then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about this. And then I'm like,
mid-credits.
Oh my God. I was like, what the fuck did Captain Marvel get here? I need to get till May of next year. Yeah. I want this to be resolved, and I want to see where we go. And that was kind of like how Infinity War left me. Black Panther will be a film that I consider to be a better film, always. But Infinity War was just impressive. I was like, holy shit, they managed to do it. So for me, they can flip-flop for all I care, just like Deadpool. These are good films that are going to be on my list or honorable mentions, and I'm going to buy if I have a poster. I love it. I've watched it I watched it 5 times. So
I agree. I mean, I can see what you mean. However, to me, I am ranking these also on how the movie was to me overall. Like Thoroughbreds is above Infinity War because I think it was a much more fleshed out, just storyline and just amazing performances and all this other shit.
What are your
Black Panther compared to Infinity War?
So what's your 4 and 3?
My 4 and 3 is Upgrade.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my number 4.
Awesome.
Upgrade was a movie that I didn't see a single trailer for. I just wanted to see it because I knew I would like it.
Yeah.
Just based on Blumhouse and it being a fucking cool sounding movie, based on what I read. But I didn't read much. I just read a review somewhere saying watch it if you're a fan of whatever, sci-fi action, Ex Machina meets fucking just a slap shot fucking action movie. And I saw it and I remember leaving thinking this was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a hardcore Henry,
but better.
Yeah.
A million. That's putting it mildly. Again, I loved Upgrade.
Upgrade's number 4 of the year. So Upgrade, we already talked about Upgrade. So, and we already talked about number 3, which I don't want to get into, but Black Panther. Black Panther is my number 3. So if you told me what my top 3 favorite movies of the year are, Black Panther's number 3. I'm
intrigued because I feel like I know what your number 1's going to be. But I think at the way we're going, you might know what my number 1 is now. These are where the curveballs are because Black Panther, just told you, for me, these are the 2 films I watched last week. And I fucking love. And they're not your traditional films. They're both documentaries.
Okay, so what? That's 4 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
4 is Won't You Be My Neighbor.
I've heard good things.
And
I didn't even grow up with him.
We were at the back end of his life where he was already kind of I would go home and, oh shit, this is an old guy. Just threw it on. It was cool to me. I wasn't anything. But I'll never forget the day he passed away. I was, I think, in 10th grade. And my teacher stopped class to tell us how important he was. And she was bawling, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't resonate how this was. Then I watched this documentary and the things that are happening in the world and everything. I haven't came out of feeling genuinely just happy about anything until I watched this film. I was like, this guy was genuinely what they said he was, and not to be like, oh, he's a hero or anything. I was just like, he just had a good outlook on life of just accepting everyone. And I was like, I didn't know, I wasn't expecting it to like affect me like that. And I was like, wow. And it's obviously a documentary. It's still a better perspective.
And this is from a perspective of someone who didn't grow up with him, right?
Yeah.
Just
I knew, and I watched a few episodes.
A few episodes when you just thought an old guy.
And how he dealt with topics and stuff. I was like, I was so intrigued that I did some research, and I'm like, wow, this guy was something else. And you know, they ask certain questions in the film that I thought about, that I sat there and I resonated about. I'm like, wow, I'm like, there are good people like him out there, but they're just nowhere to be found because people are hiding. And I just thought it was crazy. Like, I was like, I just came out smiling.
I'm dying to see it.
And my number 3 is another documentary, 3 Identical Strangers.
Huh.
Holy crap.
I don't know much about it.
It's too good. I would even, I'll tell you maybe off mic, there has to be someone in Hollywood already working on this, but if they're not, it's a fun story, but sad. And
what is it?
It's a story about 3 strangers who at the age of 19 discovered they were triplets. And they didn't even know that they existed because they all knew that they were adopted by different, this is on the trailer, they were adopted by different families. But at the age of 19, they just randomly, by fate, run into each other. They all lived around within the areas of New York. And it becomes a big thing in the late 70s, early 80s. They become famous and they go on all these talk shows. It was like a fairy tale story. And like any fairy tale stories, you start figuring out who villains were. And I was so blown away that this was actually a true story. The documentary is told by a perspective, again, by a filmmaker that's trying to side and vilify some certain people in the film. But I was like, this has, it had my attention. I couldn't believe every time something would like, you know, you're seeing the documentary and these are footage, real shit. And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? There was no way. I couldn't believe it. Okay. And I don't know if it's like, you know, maybe, no, I won't tell you anything. Because I want people to experience it just like I did. But at the end of it, I was like, this can't be true. I'm like, it was just such a fucking fun thing. You get to see.
What's it called?
3 Identical Strangers.
Okay.
And I love that documentary. I don't know why it's that through with me, but I'm like, you know what? Movie Pass allowed me to go watch. I was bored.
Fuck, it's not playing. I haven't seen it anywhere.
It's small. It's only selected theaters, and I think this is the last week before it gets removed into streaming. So
I'll watch it on streaming.
But you have to get a kick of it, and you maybe as I'm watching this film, I'm like in my mind writing notes. I'm like, there has to be. I'm gonna do something with this myself.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed it because it's just a crazy story. It's too crazy to be real, that it's good enough to be a feature. I'm like, what the hell?
Interesting, dude. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. So 4 and 3 are my.
I'm gonna have to have a double feature.
Nice.
Night of your 4 and 3.
Back to back. I watched them back to back days.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they showed more documentaries at Regals and AMC's.
Yeah. I have a little art theater by my house. And
I have shitload, and I just haven't gone.
So let's go to number 2.
Number 2 for me is Annihilation.
Okay. Yeah. I talked to you about that one. I never got to watch it.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, I want to.
It's my number 2, man.
Okay.
It was my number 1 until, Annihilation is an amazing sci-fi movie with Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson.
Alex Garland, right?
Yeah. And it was directed by the director of Ex Machina.
Yeah, I think it's Alex Garland.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. You just said it. Mm-hmm. It's fucking phenomenal, dude.
Everyone told me I like this movie too.
It's one of those movies where, again, you should have seen it in theaters.
Yeah.
It's going to be not the same at home, not even close, especially with all the visuals. There's just this random dome, and people don't know what it is, so they get like one of every best scientists in like the world, the government, all these secret agents reach out to. They reach out to Natalie Portman because she's. What was she? I believe she was a linguist, and she can probably figure out what they're saying if they come across with any other type of living, creatures in that dome. And then she meets Tessa Thompson and all these other women who are all experts at their field, which all would help, and they would all benefit together. Oh, it also has what's her name from fucking Hateful Eight. God damn it.
Which one?
I love her so much, and I forgot her.
Yeah, damn it.
Daisy Domergue.
I didn't talk about though.
Yeah. It's great, dude. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, please don't.
They go together, and they're like a badass team, and then there's this fucking creature that's just going to...
And I wanted to watch it in theaters. I knew I would like it. I was a big Ex Machina fan, so I was like...
Yeah.
And I think he wrote Sunshine.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So-
would make sense. He's great.
Yeah.
My number one.
Don't
Should
go
we-
to your number one
What's
because
your number two?
my number two, we talked about it, so we're not even going to spend a long time, but it goes back to theater experience, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was the third feature he's done. It's Quiet Place. In the theater, I was sitting there and I was eating candy, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to die. Because someone that talks a lot, I'm like, if I fucking say anything, I would die in this movie. And I'm like, it just engaged me, and I was like, holy shit, like I like horror. I enjoy good horrors. I respect good horror, but I wasn't expecting this just like simple story. Basically, anyone could have thought about it, but the way he directed this story and it worked out for me. I was like, I just had a great time in the theater, and I was like, wow, I was just impressed. And I'm like, you know what? I want to see what Krasinski does next. Like, I was just very pleased with this horror film. It felt like not like the greatest horror film ever, but it's just heading in the right direction. Horror is being treated with like respect, and it's not a cliche like genre that people laugh about or think is not good enough. I'm like, no, I respect good horror from like the past times, and I think we're slowly, progressively moving because what I think we have on our number one is the exact same one, and I think you could say it for both of us.
I mean, I can real quick talk about horror in 2018 has changed so much. I mean, last year our best picture was a monster movie,
Mm-hmm.
Shape of Water, and nominated
Just
amongst
Get
that
Out.
was Get Out, and
So-
it's just crazy, man. And those two movies like just
Single-handedly.
normally.
And then you can add the number one onto this list as one of the better.
Hopefully this year.
I really hope so.
My number one, you're probably number one.
Yep.
We both have the same number one,
Which is rare.
yeah. We don't like the same shit at all.
I thought you would be proud of me this
I
year.
am proud of you, man, because number one is number one so far.
And it's probably gonna take a lot to knock it.
It's gonna take a lot to knock it. It's for me. It'll probably be Halloween if it's good.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that page because again,
My number one, your number one, our number one is Hereditary.
It was
Hereditary.
poorly, Wow.
We tried to do it at the same time.
yeah, we did. We didn't work out.
Yeah, no. it didn't.
Wow. I mean, I've dove deep
Let's
down
talk about Hereditary.
I've dove deep down the rabbit hole, just the basic story. I loved it. It was a good horror film, but I was more intrigued by the family drama about this fucking movie. The way it took twists and turns. I'm just talking about it.
Wow, you
That's
got
how much
goosebumps.
it's Star Wars goosebumps.
Those
about
are
how much
Star Wars goosebumps.
on a Hereditary.
dude.
I love this film. I was like blown away by everything about this film. I just couldn't believe that I was so captivated by just the performances. Like, it takes twists and turns. I mean, if you study the filmmaking, the film literally fucking teaches you a lesson of filmmaking from the beginning of your establishing shot. I mean, everything about this film of the. It's hard to say what else.
Can you believe it's the director's first movie?
No, and he better make like. It's when I get mad when I'm like, "Fuck, how are we gonna succeed? And people like him have this talent."
His first movie.
I was like, so Toni Collette. I mean,
Toni
if she
Collette-
does not get nominated,
I have been bitching about this since it happened, since I saw the movie.
me too. Every person I go to, I've told you in the past, I work with these like I work in a small little like much more conservative town, and when they ask me my favorite movies, they're usually like the mainstream ones. And this year I'm going with like a horror film, and they're looking at me like I've lost myself. They're like, have you not watched that good old Republican film or whatever and stuff like that? And I'm like, no, trust me, Toni Collette. And they're like, I used to like her in that other show. And I'm like, I think it's the United States of Terror, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, whatever show. But I'm like, she should be nominated for an Oscar, but not win on this performance alone.
Yeah.
That scene at the dinner table, loved.
Yeah. And that's then when she fucking found her daughter's body.
Oh,
Her
man.
cry.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
fucking
spoiler.
cried.
I mean, sure. Fuck it. Let's see.
Oh shit! We shouldn't have spoiled it. Nah.
No one even knows how to context it.
No.
But it's
By
just.
the time this video goes up, it'll be on Blu-ray.
I was.
No, it won't.
I
It
can't-
was just, I've talked the fuck out of this movie
Me too.
since I've seen it, and I'm not going to talk more about it because I want people to see it.
Me too.
If they're listening to this.
I need people to see it. It's like they need to watch
It's not
because.
in theaters anymore
No.
for much longer, at least. If it is, it's probably playing like one showtime a day, and it sucks because it didn't make anything.
No,
Like,
and it bumps me, and this is where I get
it
mad. Like,
sucks because Quiet Place did.
Yeah.
And it was word of mouth the reason Quiet Place did. So where the fuck was the word of mouth for
I think Hereditary was hard to understand because, like, even us that are, you're a horror guy. I went in knowing, but it was getting that stupid
It is.
this generation's Exorcist, and I
And
think it's
that's
different.
because And the reason they did that was and it was misleading, was because they wanted people to see it, and that's fucking. I'm glad it tricked me personally, because I was like, when I got out, I'm like, wow, they really fucking misadvertised that.
Seriously.
Saying I thought it was going to be the girl going, doing a bunch
Yeah,
of scary
and
shit, but she, and I thought that's what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the Omen. A new Omen movie.
The way this thing, it deals with the horror concept that we are aware of in our own mind. And again, I go back to it, the family drama on this story, I thought was the even more intriguing part than anything. I was like,
I agree.
I just the way everything fell into place.
It didn't have cheap jump scares.
No, it didn't.
And then the scares it did have,
they were
like when I got home, I couldn't look at that corner or that corner without freaking out. Turning off the lights, like it really fucking, and I haven't had that feeling in so long.
And I think it's one of these good horror films, like, because, my friends had seen Quiet Place. They got that whole theater experience, so they loved it. My friends are not the guys that do the podcast, but other friends, they just came in and the concept of just, there's people like they just wanted to watch another horror film. But I was telling them, and not to offend them, but I'm like, this is like from me without even seeing the film. I was like, this is a intelligent film. You're not gonna get those cheap scares.
You're not gonna get the movie.
And then I'm like, and they're like, I hope you guys don't get bored, because it's probably a drama. I told them, I'm like, you're gonna. And when these guys were like, whoa, that was they didn't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't like your typical horror film, like, and they're used to like fucking Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare.
And then they're saying things, and they're like, but I felt like I have to think about it. And they were telling me the next day at work, it's like, I researched the things that happened, and I'm like, it stayed with them, and I'm like, if more people just gave it a shot and would have gone, they would have got what we got. I was like, holy crap!
I saw people on Instagram post, people who are normally horror quote unquote aficionados. They posted saying, "Saw Hereditary. You're probably gonna hate me, but I didn't get why people liked it so much. But I'm probably dumb, so that's why." Like, and it sounded very sarcastic. It sounded like they said that because they didn't want people to go after them. But it's not for everyone, that's what I said. Like my friend Raul asked me, "Do you think you'll like her? Do you think I'll like Hereditary? I'm about to go in." And I thought about the type of person Raul was, and I go, "Yeah, I think you will," because he's currently reading like books on black magic and books on like he has a satanic Bible, and he just out of curiosity, not necessarily he follows all that shit. Yeah. But there's a lot of that kind of stuff in this movie. And a lot of symbolism, and just like it's very blasphemous. It's so fucking. It's just so evil, and it's great, man.
It worked, and I'm happy.
If you try not to see the trailer, but if you do and you base your decision on the trailer, whatever you think it's about, it's not.
Nope. No.
The trailer is misleading. It shows scary shit. But because they want audiences to go.
There's a particular scene in the film, and you know exactly which one I'm going to reference here. Something happens. Siblings.
There's a lot of cool. Which one?
And they go somewhere. Something happens. And they return. You think you know everything about these films, and you've studied it. My mouth was genuinely like this. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, and the way that they framed the shot, the performance as this thing happens, I was like, this guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. That's what would happen if this traumatic experience. And I was, again, everything talking about it. It genuinely affected me in a way that I never thought. And I'm like, as soon as I get out of the movie, I think I think Julian is gonna be proud of me this year. I'm like, look at that. We got.
I'm honored that you thought of me immediately.
Because I'm like, this year, as you can see, my top 5 are not my typical.
The 2 documentaries, and it doesn't matter.
No, and I get that, and I understand that, and I'm like, I'm still loving these films. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna buy them. I collect Blu-rays, but I hope they have Hereditary in the steelbook because I want this shit.
I'm actually hoping it comes in a leather-bound Bible, like packaging, where each page is like concept art.
I wish. I forget the actors. There's an actress in the movie, the friend of the mom.
Yeah. Hey.
I know a lot about her in other movies, so that was kind of a little bit of a thing. I'm like, I know how she's kind of typecast in certain roles. She's always sense of being something that she's not. I was like, fuck, why did I cast her? Because if I would have got different actors, she's a cat. I'm like, I know who she. I'm like, she's like, oh, she's awfully. I don't trust her fully because that's because she was. But other than that, and there's one little thing at the end that I could have done without. One little slightly thing. It was a little cheesy for me, but other than that. you talk about satanic cults and all that shit. This lived up to the perfection of what a film should have been and whatnot. But I think for our mid-year, I think once again, I have no idea where we're going for the year. There's a few movies that I'm excited for. I'm going to be at Comic-Con, and I think our top 10s are a good right now.
So far, so good. I mean,
let's go into the Halloween thing because that's the only.
We have a lot to. We still have a whole half year.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that much when you think about it, but when I think about when I first saw Black Panther, it's like, holy shit, it's been a long year.
Yeah, no, and it's like
just think about all of that again from the beginning. Like
yeah.
Today is the beginning of a whole other.
I got the brochure from AMC for the A-list, and it opens with the remaining movies of the calendar, and I counted all of them. It has everything listed, like the big blockbusters.
Yeah, that's a cool brochure.
And I was like, cool. And I'm like, how many more do I have? And this is excluding like small indie releases that are going to be nominated for the Oscars. I counted it. I'm like, fuck, I have about 37 to go.
Holy shit.
I'm like, this is going to be a rough year. And I'm still going to try to include some of these smaller films that I hope they're bumped out. Just before we talk about Halloween, because like I'm really excited for A24's Under the Silver Lake with Andrew Garfield. I don't know if you know about that one.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And there's another one with Timothée Chalamet that he's also... I think it's Rough Times or something. He plays like a drug dealer, a young drug dealer. Looks intriguing as well. These aren't horror films, but they just drew my attention. I'm like, wow, these are like ones I really want to catch at the end of the year. But let's just go to the big one because last time we did the podcast, we talked about Halloween. The trailer wasn't out. The poster was out, and I loved it.
Poster?
Simple, basic, just Michael Myers' face.
Poster was cool. I was okay with it. I was still hoping it was a teaser and not the official, but it's looking like it's probably going to be the official. Only because I love horror movie posters.
You expect it, yeah.
Look at that People Under the Stairs poster.
Art.
Look at that Shape of Water poster.
Art.
Even that It poster behind me, it's like, it's better.
No, and I get that. And I think it was basing it off of something as the It poster, but it didn't, I mean, to me, it worked.
It looked like a Johnny Cash album at first. it looks like that dark album that he released towards the end of his career.
Yeah, that's true.
It was fine, though. I get it. I just, for Halloween posters, if you see the history of Halloween posters, besides not counting H2O and Resurrection, they've all been pretty good. Even Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is pretty rad. Like, it's a pretty rad poster. It's just him stabbing in rain, like a rainy looking thing. And then the first Rob Zombie Halloween has like a collage of fucking cool things.
I think that was a cool one too.
And then 1 through 5 are like my favorite posters of all time. You know, even in the counting Season of the Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been really fucking cool movie poster art that has the fucking
I think
feel that the holiday has. A lot
and that's your favorite holiday.
A lot of black and orange and pumpkins and
maybe when we get closer to it, they're gonna release a poster that you
that's
like.
what I'm hoping.
Maybe next week.
Maybe
you could get it. You know, we give us one of the little ones. I mean, that trailer to me.
Let's talk about the trailer.
Yeah, because to me, I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as I did, and maybe because I'm in this horror high. It's simple because everything's retcon. It don't exist, man. They directly talk about it on the trailer. They tell you basically certain things that are no longer canon, and I like that. I think that the filmmakers, I respect all the ones you've watched and enjoyed, and I've seen all of them. I just, they kind of blur with me and something. I just, I enjoy them. I even like the Rob Zombie one.
I mean, the reason I'm letting you talk right now is because I am obsessed with this series,
and I know, and
it's like my number one fandom. It's more than like above everything else. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts before I start.
Yeah, because I want you to go. I want you to go out on it, which is fine because as someone that's it's just the go-to original. He's the original besides like Psycho. He's the original slasher guy, and I think that this film it's coming in the perfect time. It's Blumhouse, so it's now. I think the filmmakers that are taking over it want to play homage to everything you love, and they're going to try to target people that we don't. It's a sequel. It's a sequel and a reboot, whatever they're calling. I don't care. I'm just intrigued. I watched the trailer. I mean, I just love the little tidbits of things that I know. Some of the shots in the trailer. I just watched it with a big grin on my face, and I'm like, can it be? You know, I want the movie now. And for me, that's again not a big horror guy. They got me, and it didn't feel like a piece of shit horror film. It felt like good respect, and they're treating it seriously. And I'm excited. And for someone like you, I am hoping that this is the one that sets it in the right path, narrow, and it's going to be considered to be as good as the original Halloween. And that at the end of it all, if that one makes the list, it's going to make me very happy.
Right.
So that's just my thoughts on it.
That's good. I mean, did you ever grow up watching them, or did
Yeah,
you just
I
recently marathon them all?
I grew up watching them. The original Halloween, it's embedded in my head. That's the one that would always be on like TNT, and I would always watch that, and the one with Busta Rhymes. I don't know which one that is.
You went a pretty huge gap there.
I did, but
you
I
went
also
from 1 to 9.
and then and I think I also watched a lot the one where out of nowhere she has a daughter, and it's a girl from I think what other movie used to come out, and the actress that played Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, and Michael Myers is like her uncle or some shit.
Wait.
In one of the films, she becomes like she has like telepathic powers or some shit.
Yeah, you're talking about Halloween 5.
That one.
And 4.
Yeah, I always get
Curtis isn't in it much, but she
the daughter, the mom.
yeah,
mentioned
the storyline with that one is Jamie Lee Curtis died.
Yeah.
I believe I don't think Michael killed her. I think she died in a car accident. I believe I forgot what the fucking line was there. But Jamie is Jamie Lloyd.
Jamie
her
Lloyd.
daughter.
That's her. I used to like her. I thought she was cute.
She's an orphan. Yeah, she's in Rob Zombie's Halloween grown up.
Oh
If
shit!
you've ever
Yeah.
seen the second
Yes.
first
Yes.
thing,
Holy
yeah.
shit! Yeah.
So yeah, I love those with all my heart.
Yeah.
Like those two movies, 4 and 5 are very important.
And
to
4
me.
and 5 and the original one.
Yeah.
Those really resonate. I remember those more. And then I did watch the Rob Zombie one a lot.
Yeah, and I mean the Rob Zombie one was a straight up remake.
Yeah.
They just tried to start from the beginning, and then they sequeled it, and they're not the best movies, but they're there. And I appreciate them because it's my favorite fandom.
Of course.
Because, the problem with this movie is that it is trying to substitute for Halloween 2, and Halloween 2 is like legit my second favorite movie ever because I love Halloween 1 and 2.
Yeah, of course.
Halloween 1 is my favorite movie of all time. My second favorite movie of all time is probably Halloween 2 because it continues with the same atmosphere, the same cinematographer, which Dean Cundy, cinematographer of Halloween 1, recreated it with Halloween 2, and it felt the same way, and it's never going to feel that way again because they don't have the same equipment. They're not. It literally took place right after the movie. So,
But would you be okay with the homage? Because the trailer shows certain little homages to Halloween 1 and 2.
I'm just, as far as canon is concerned.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like
The discontinuation.
It never really matters because there's the canon. The canon for Halloween has changed like 10 times.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where if the Blumhouse one sucks,
Doesn't damage yours. You should have them.
it's just no. I just wish they didn't continue it after 1. I wish they continued it after 2, just so 2 and just so I can have that trilogy.
Gotcha.
You know, because there's been a trilogy because Halloween H2O was
A retcon as well, right?
it took place after 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Halloween 4 took place after 2 as well, and it's a mess of a timeline.
It is.
I love them all, and they're my favorite films. So with the Blumhouse one, they're trying to just erase Halloween 2. You know, the hospital. It takes place in a hospital. Michael's trying to still get Laurie, and then it ends with an explosion. Spoiler. 40-year spoiler.
Later. I know that. Even I know that one.
Yeah. So in Resurrection, they brought him back. They just constantly fucking brought them back.
I think what your concerns are, they're perfectly justifiable because this is the franchise you love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the way I look at when they reboot and franchise all these things, your films still exist. You still have the box. It ain't gonna change anything. On the contrary, you'll get something new that you can either laugh at or holy shit, can I see more of this new continuity?
I agree. You're a good counselor when it comes to these because I've been very just conflicted
About the concept?
with just it being a direct sequel to the first
I know,
one because I love the second one so much. The second one was actually the first one I ever watched.
Would there be a possibility that you think that
it doesn't bug me? What?
You think there'd be a possibility that this official sequel now will take maybe? What if it surprises you and it's better than number 2?
That's what I was saying. If it's better than 2, then it will. There's just as far as what I believe in. And the problem is also it's called Halloween again.
I hate that.
Call it something else. Call it Halloween. Give it a fucking subtitle. I don't care. Just don't call it Halloween again.
Because now it's conflicting. Because you're gonna say Halloween's my favorite movie. They're gonna be like, which one? The Rob Zombie.
There's 3 fucking Halloween movies now that are just called Halloween. Rob Zombie did put Rob Zombie's Halloween on it, but it's not this. It's still gonna be nobody fucking says that.
But I mean, at least right now, I think the fact that Carpenter's back and he's like,
I'm excited for it. Carpenter's involved.
He believes
with the producer credit and the score. Jamie's back, and she cares because apparently she read the script. I doubt it. She probably just wants the paycheck, but it's all good. I'm excited that she's back.
I just want you to be happy at the end of this film.
I'm gonna be probably happy because I was happy after watching Rob Zombies, and I was happy after watching Resurrection, and I was happy after watching every single fucking Michael Myers movie that ever came out. So I'm gonna like it no matter what. It's one of those things where it's just like I wish, just for the sake of just figuring out what they could have done if it had just taken place after one of my favorite movies ever, which is Halloween 2.
But, maybe because I'm looking at, like I told you, out of a perspective differently than you. This trailer, in comparison to the newer ones, or the Rob Zombie ones, Michael Myers felt more like the shape in this trailer single-handedly in 2 minutes than he did in the whole other film. For me, it felt, some of the trickeries. I mean, in the trailer, you see that she looks up in the house and there's a reflection of him in the mirror and things like that.
They showed a lot in this trailer.
And that's a thing. I mean, there's certain things where, like, the fucking psychiatrist go into the jail to go talk to him or the mental institute, and they do the whole thing, Michael, and they pull up. I'm like, oh, you deserve to die. You deserve to die.
That part, I don't like that part because that part has been done several times already. Malcolm McDowell did it twice in fucking the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah, I remember.
And it felt like that again.
It did.
And then I don't know who the fuck this guy is who thinks he can just do that. Some young dude.
I hate. He's gonna die. We know he's gonna die.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. He's probably the new Dr. Loomis, which Donald Pleasance will never be replaced.
Of course, yeah. I did give a little bit of. He played him differently, but I give him. He tried. Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I thought the trailer was solid. It's my favorite series of all time, so I'm gonna like it.
I think you're gonna have a new trailer come next week. I think it's this New Line who's doing this, right, in Blumhouse.
Probably because they're doing it at Hall H.
The Hall H one, so we might have something different to either complain about. There's no way you get a new trailer again.
I'm not complaining.
No. I'm not saying you are.
I'm not complaining about the trailer. I'm just
saying that we might get something that we could either now be like, they gave too much about the stupid movie, or I wish we could be at Hall H because I want to see how Danny McBride.
I'm gonna try to go.
Oh, cool, and I want to see how Danny McBride deals with this shit inside.
That's another thing that I'm just like, okay, so
I like David
Danny
Gordon
McBride.
Green. He wrote this.
He wrote it. And it's just like, why him?
Maybe he's besides you the biggest Halloween fan.
I guess just because he's.
I don't hope it's
just because he's a famous person. They were like, let's get him. And then David Gordon Green. It doesn't matter. He's good. The director's fun. But whenever you think, wow, this series that has meant so much to me since I was basically fucking able to speak, is now being they're gonna take what's his name, Danny McBride, his writing.
I want him to.
I wish it was written by somebody else.
Okay, and I get that, but maybe if you're at the Hall H and you're sitting there and you see the love that he has for it, or you hear about it.
I need to hear more about that.
I don't want him to be all like.
Every interview I've seen with him, he's been like that. That's why it fucking pisses me off.
He's been over the top with it? No, it's fine. But
not over the top. He's just been like, just wrote it, and I thought it would be pretty cool. And
I thought he was.
That's just how
I haven't seen him. I thought he was being coy about it. I thought he didn't want to talk about it.
He was on a radio show recently. I believe that one. What's it called? Like some comedian show, radio show that's really popular. I forgot what the fuck it was called. And he was just like, Halloween, and then like they made like the guys made some jokes like yeah, they, like
That stupid noise.
yeah, no, he just didn't.
He didn't
I
say
don't
genuine.
remember what was said. He just sounded like Danny McBride talking about how he wrote Halloween. He didn't sound like a passionate, like somebody who's very excited about it.
I get you,
But who knows? That was just one thing I saw.
And we'll know more this upcoming week. I think, and we're gonna talk about it there. I like the concept of these people. I mean, you take Denis Villeneuve, who really was a big Blade Runner fan, and he straight up told everyone, "I'm gonna do it because everyone else will fuck it up." I want that to be like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. Like, we're doing it because there's been fuck ups.
I never thought Denis Villeneuve was gonna fuck up Blade Runner. I'm like
I
a
neither
huge
did I.
Denis Villeneuve fan. So I
too.
knew he was gonna knock it out of the park.
He made me like
that's
Blade Runner.
That's who I would have been happy with too. If I found out Denis Villeneuve was a huge Halloween fan, I would have been like, holy shit.
Prisoners.
Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, I would have been like, Denis Villeneuve was doing Halloween. Dude, fuck yeah.
It's okay, he's basically doing Dune.
Although I know that David Gordon Green has some pretty good like serious credits for like dramas and stuff, like indie films.
Yeah. Pineapple Express.
Because I'm not basing it on fucking Pineapple Express.
Oh, come on.
And that's what makes me like,
Crunches.
Pineapple Express and fucking Danny McBride are doing Halloween. Like that's the
randomness. I get you.
That's judging the book by a cover.
I get you.
As it gets, because it's just like those guys. But then I saw like David Gordon Green's old his old filmography, and he's done some good fucking work. Besides Pineapple Express, which is good fucking work and comedy, but not my thing.
Jordan Peele and Krasinski, The Office, and the guy from Q and Peele, so they were able to bring it down to
right. I just don't give a fuck about it. I fucking hate Danny McBride. I was never a fan of
Danny
McBride.
And I've never been a fan of his it's the same
shit. Never makes me laugh.
Never does me.
So I'm just like,
he's like a redneck bro.
And he's famous as fuck, so it's like, of course they're going to get him to write it and trust him. But he's famous.
If you want to trust anyone right now, trust Jason Blum. He's there. He's
that's where I'm like,
it's the same reason.
Truth or Dare and fucking Dark Web, I don't know.
Those are his paycheck ones.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the good ones. I mean, he did produce Whiplash, and he did produce Get Out. And look, the way I look at it with like right now, we're talking, and if you have any more things to say about your Halloween thing, because when I say Jason Blum, I remember.
I can't go into the trailer as much. I haven't really talked much about the trailer because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm the most excited person for this movie, though.
And I want it to be good for you.
So it's just I'm not necessarily. It's not even something I was asking for to begin with. So
yeah, but you're getting
as a fan of the fucking series, I'm just excited something else is coming out because it's another chance for me to see Halloween on the big screen. Another chance to see my fucking favorite horror icon on the big screen as I point at his statue. Fucking
beautiful statue.
It's my sister gave that to me. It's a bootleg from Mexico. It's actually pretty nice.
Just we gotta wait until a few years when Blumhouse gets the rights to that guy.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, for what? Or for Trick or Treat?
No, not Trick or Treat. They're gonna get him probably too.
Yeah, who knows?
And we're gonna bring back what's his name, Jackie Earl Haley. I'm just kidding. I think I'm just joking with you.
As long as Robert Englund's alive, I hope they get him back.
As a cameo.
Yeah, but
because one of the films that I'm very excited for, because I mean, right now we've been going for it for a bit. Because this kind of can be the way we end it, because we're going to Comic-Con next week, and we're thinking about what things we're excited for. We've been at the podcast now for a while, but we can kind of stream through it because there's two big things that I'm very excited about. The podcast, and this you can kind of talk about if you want to talk about your collectibles and things you want to get and what kind of news you want to expect. And I can start off real quick because right now we're in the Blumhouse thing. That poster for Glass.
You guys are saying Blumhouse, by the way.
Sorry.
Poster for Glass. Yes.
That I am excited.
Me too.
That we're gonna hopefully see a trailer. And
we are.
And the fact that with two movies, The Visit and Split, I'm back on the Shan wagon van. Like I'm a fan. Like I'm excited because I think he's gonna deliver. And Unbreakable was again one of my favorite movies like ever. And you put that with James McAvoy and everyone coming back, and they just released an image today of all three of them sitting down, and I was like, oh
really?
It's so beautiful, and you see all of them in the picture, and I'm like, it's gonna blow my mind, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm always at Comic-Con for the news and the enjoyments and having talks with my friends and everything. But when it comes down to all the mainstream stuff, Marvel and Star Wars aren't there this year, so I don't gotta worry about that. What I want, besides the Glass trailer, I want something I got a Halloween. I want a Godzilla, Kings of Monster trailer. And then I want DC to finally, because they have the new guy. They got Kevin, I forget it's Kevin Tuganasha, whatever his name is. I want him to go up there and be like, hey, we planned everything. Check out our slate.
Oh,
like, we finally know and
Batman.
everything. And, like, they're creating the new brand. They're creating the DC Dark, which is, like, standalone films. Yesterday it got greenlit that Joaquin Phoenix is going to be the Joker and all that. Like, and they're still going to do the Jared Leto ones for the DCU, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. It's different variations.
Yeah,
and
DC's known for different Earths.
And I'm excited for that. And I want them to stand up and for the first time be confident. Marvel's not there. It's your time to shine. They're going to knock it out of the park with the Aquaman trailer, the Shazam trailer, Wonder Woman footage. We're not going to probably see all this stuff. But I want them to go out there and be like, you guys are freaking out. We messed up a few, but we're going in the right direction. Here, 2019, Man of Steel. We have everything is now finally planned because I don't like this chaos. We're going to have our non-canon stuff. Okay, and if you do want to have it, we know that Jared Leto's also going to be Morbius and that, but he's still the Joker as well. Come up, and whether Ben Affleck's going to do it anymore or not, who cares? If he is, hey, I'm in for one more movie, and just everything. I want it to be crystal clear, organized, and then I can be like, okay, we're good. And if I get those trailers that we want, I'm going to come out a happy person. I still feel Disney is going to be an asshole, and for no reason at all. Like, they're not going to be there. Come Saturday, DC's going to kick ass, and then Saturday night they're going to be like, oh, here's the Captain Marvel trailer.
They did that last year.
They play him like that every year. And I was talking to the guys. Every year, we always want to do the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. We get excited, but we always come out talking more about the DC stuff because they win us over with their trailers and the way they do everything. We're always talking about that more.
Yeah.
Yet then we watch the movies. We're like, fuck, God, please get it right. And I want them to succeed.
The only time I've ever felt that was Wonder Woman so far.
They succeeded, yes. And I want that. I want them to basically come out with confidence. This is our plan. And you guys have to trust us. We have everything settled. We have new leadership. And we now have him under contract. Whether it's Ben Affleck, okay, this is your new Batman. Cool. Matt Reeves comes out, they shake hands, or if it is Ben Affleck, they come out and they hug. I'm gonna get so excited. I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. Like you tell me you wouldn't get excited if Matt Reeves walks out with Ben Affleck and then just Jared Leto. Like, we have the new Batman coming out next year. And I'm like, oh my god, like.
It'll be like that one year that we saw the BVS trailer, and then we did not even know that was happening. You
get Matthew Vaughn come out, and they're like, we cast Matthew Vaughn as the director for Man of Steel 2. I'm like, stuff like that.
As long as they say no Snyder.
Snyder's done. And
Snyder things like that should be done.
Yeah, and I could do other stuff. I still like him. Leave him be. No Josh Whedon, just good filmmakers. Just get him on. So if I get these things, the collectibles that you guys want to get, I'm going to go in and buy stuff for my friends, never for myself, just literally things that appeal me. Those are my things. I don't care about Star Wars or Marvel because they're not going to be there.
Because it's Star Wars already. Who cares about Star Wars?
That's your mindset. I'll be in Chicago
next.
I'll be in Chicago next week for that. So
who gives a fuck about Star Wars?
That's it. We just lost a lot of people.
Fuck Star Wars. I'm joking.
If you were to post this up, you know how much people would hate you.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because you're not helping the broken community that we are.
Fuck those people more because
they're ruining everything. They're ruining.
Fuck the people who are like, let's petition to remake Episode 9, Episode 8,
Kathleen Kennedy,
and let's pick on the chubby Asian girl. Like, oh my fucking god, dude!
Get alive, man. These are the nerds that make us upset.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
To be a nerd, like, are you a nerd? I'm the good ones.
I'm not. I've been asked that. Somebody said, are you a Star Wars fan? And I'm like, I am a Star Wars fan. I'm just not the Star Wars fan that would pick on the chubby nerd Asian girl or chubby Asian girl that played what's her name?
Rose.
And I'm not the Star Wars fan who wants to petition to change anything. Because I'm happy. I was fine with the shitty ones that came out recently. I don't care.
The Last Jedi is still the second best Star Wars movie ever made.
That will be what?
I've told you, and I'll stand by this statement. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Episode 8 is the second best Star Wars movie ever made. We've had this argument. We'll carry on. But anyway, talk about your things that you're looking forward, because as a whole for DC San Diego.
So whenever I am, I don't know. Do you want me to talk about announcements or
whatever? Everything you can put everything. What collectibles, announcements, and what are you expecting this year? Because that's kind of like the last little things that we have here in our notes and stuff. And
so Comic-Con is a fucking just it's a dream. It's to get to go to Comic-Con as a fan of all this stuff is one of those things that once you're there, you are overwhelmed by just being surrounded by everything you love. It's almost as if you dream about a superheroes existing and all the movies you watch that,
You know what, Alyssa, I know that you're saying that before I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
It's all these fucking hatred on the internet and on tweets and shit. All of us nerds are there together, like all of us, and everyone's like getting along. It's so weird. Why don't you stand up?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like every single person there is like you.
We don't
or
fight.
assholes, but they like the same shit.
Yeah.
And there's
caps locks.
Yeah, there's no caps locks because no keyboards are around, and also most of those assholes that talk a lot of shit on the internet don't have the balls to say it in person.
Exactly.
So they act like regular people and they're nice to each other, and they keep to themselves if they have any criticism. Because they don't want to get wedgied or thrown in lockers
Totally.
or anything like that. Comic-Con is a dream come true if you can make it. I'm looking forward to just being in that dream again, and it's in that real dream because it's fucking actually happening.
It's crazy.
The moment you cross that fucking train track and you're in the con, like
you're
it's
in a different
just
world,
like
different dimension.
That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Just being there.
That walk is always the best.
Yeah, it is like walking down the yellow brick road to Oz. Like it's that good. I'm not even overhyping it. It's that good.
It's not.
That's why it's expensive. That's why it's very sought after, and you have to fucking make sure you're on when they go on sale.
So your blood and soul.
Yeah, I got lucky this year, and I have my own badge, and it's
I'm
my
so
first
proud of you
badge.
for that one.
It's my first
When
badge.
you bring in your birthday, buddy.
Yeah, I'm turning 30 there, and it's the first time I've ever had my own badge. I didn't have to sneak anyone in. No one has to sneak me in. I don't have to cross anyone's name out or anything, or
You can
or
go to
buy
any. You can go
somebody's.
to any.
I can go to
panel he
anything.
wants.
I can scan. There was last year. There were a few things that I was like, they're like, oh, we'll make this thing for you. We just need to scan your badge, but it's gonna have your name on it. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna say Fernando, and that sucks. So I was just like, oh no, thank you. So I just left, and like shit like that. Like there's something like. This year I have an Amazon Prime account, and there was a lot of Amazon Prime things out there. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I have
last year there was this really cool tick booth outside that had like air conditioning in it and free beverages and food.
Shit.
And all you have to do is prove that you're an Amazon Prime member by signing into their little kiosk thing, and if it lights up green, you're good, and your membership's paid, and you're caught up with your bill or whatever, and they let you in. You can just relax and get some swag with it. See like the new
freaking
tick.
hot there too.
Shit, yeah, that's why it's important. Like it's right where it needs to be too, like right outside the con. So that shit was cool, and there's a lot of cool stuff that they like inside too. That's like, oh, Prime only. Like you want to come in here and try the experience? It's Prime only. Shit like that. So many different experiences. No.
That's just my phone having a seizure.
So I'm really looking forward to getting a lot of exclusive shit that I'm hoping to get. I'm hoping to get a NECA Guillermo del Toro figure that's exclusive to Comic-Con. I'm also excited.
That's awesome.
I'm excited for the announcements, but I'm also a bigger collector than I am, anything else. So, like, I try to go for the exclusives.
You're good at that stuff, man. I remember before you were going, you were telling me where to go. I was like
the exclusives, the free swag, all that shit is like my fucking favorite thing about Comic-Con because I love, especially now that I have a new home where I can put it all.
Dream, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this place is a dream.
Yes. You have what I want to have.
Someday, man.
Yeah, one day when everything goes back to not being shitty in my income. But other than that,
let's change this off. We'll talk about that off the air.
Yes.
Comic-Con. I am looking forward to DC fucking resurrecting themselves, they've had the Wonder Woman kick and then just back to
they've been on the ropes.
It's like what the fuck? What give everything to Patty Jenkins or fucking figure it out, because it's just like Batman is if you look at my fucking office, it's like 90% Batman. Like Batman is my fucking favorite hero, and Justice League should have been like my favorite fucking movie last year. Batman v Superman should have been my fucking Halloween 2. My number 2 favorite movie of all time.
How sad you were.
I
I'll never forget how sad you were.
Heartbroken. I cried.
God, it bumped me out. I was like, fuck, he's not.
I was so fucking torn, dude. I was just this. Oh god.
I knew you always have like a good thing to say, like intelligent thing to say, and as soon as we got out the movie, you were just quiet. I was like, shit, something's wrong. Like
Yeah,
you
dude,
couldn't express your feelings.
When a movie is called Batman versus Superman, it should be good.
Yeah, it should have been.
They got the budget, they got the actors, they got the fucking production team. What the fuck did they make?
The studio heads, man, they just interfere.
It's just that's the thing. They need to fucking change that. I'm very excited for James Wan's Aquaman because James Wan has been one of my fucking favorites.
I'm with you there.
You know, as a horror fan.
Yeah.
And James Wan has never fucked up in horror, at least. So
I don't think he will.
Hopefully that
And then you
translates
have
in superhero movie.
another horror guy. Why am I blanking on his name? Lights Out guy.
Oh yeah.
He's one of us that just recently started getting successful, and he has Shazam now. So it's like I want these guys to. I'm not a Shazam fan, but just
not a Shazam fan. I'm just.
Oh, you're not a big fan of his work?
Lights Out was okay.
Not because I'm not saying because of the thing. I'm just saying the way he came up, like we did. Like
yeah. That's cool and all.
Yeah.
He just.
I see him as an inspiration of a guy.
I don't know how the fuck he got Shazam, to be honest.
Yeah,
based on Lights Out. Lights Out was okay.
Animal Creation. I mean.
Yeah, that was also pretty good, but
I'm saying it's better than the piece of shit that came before it. I didn't like Annabelle either. And I'm not saying these are great. I'm just saying a guy who worked.
Right. I feel like Scott Derrickson would have been a better choice.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if they're going, I don't know why they're going for a horror actor. If for some reason they were looking for a horror director to direct Shazam, I'm not sure why. But Scott Derrickson directed Sinister and
Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange, which is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why though, because he's probably with Marvel. I don't know if that
he has another. I don't know
if they're in stables like that.
At the contracts probably. But
yeah, so if they're, I don't know if they're trying to replicate that by trying to get because I feel like that's probably where they got that idea. They're like, well, look at this up and comer horror guy.
He became
he did a fucking great Marvel movie, so let's see if we can find some up and comer. Oh, let's get James Wan. He's like the fucking modern day fucking. Not Joe Dante, fucking Sam Raimi, and let's get fucking, let's get. And
Sam Raimi worked out with them, so it's gonna be the same thing again.
So
I'm glad that you're excited for James Wan's work.
I'm excited for James Wan. I also am a fan of Aquaman. Like since I was a kid, Aquaman was like one of my favorites. I'm a huge DC fan.
Yeah.
Comics, TV shows, growing up, animated series, fucking, everything. And Aquaman, huge fan. Even though he got a lot of shit back then.
Yeah, you were cool before they was cool.
Yeah, I love this fucking power. I'm excited. I'm hoping for a lot of fish action in the James Wan movie.
It's gonna be great.
I'm a fan of Momoa. I don't know if I like his character in Justice League, but
he's a pro.
I liked his After traveling to Hawaii though, like meeting a lot of people that acted like him, and I'm like, yeah, he can be a badass Hawaiian fucking hero.
Gotcha.
So hopefully that's fucking good. I'm going to try to go to the Hall H panel for Halloween and Glass because they're both together on the same panel.
That's the fucking...
Sadly, Walking Dead is right before, so it's going to be fucking hard to get in, but I'm going to try.
Yeah. You have maybe connects. We can find some people to get us in there.
I wish.
If it was a Fox one, we had you.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that in a bit off the air. But
Fox has nothing.
Oh, yeah.
The whole deal with Marvel, they literally are not bringing X-Men yet or New Mutants.
Wait, they have a deal with Marvel where they can't do... Well, there's a Deadpool.
They're saying...
There's a Deadpool panel.
Is there? Because they're going to release the Blu-ray, the cool one. They have like a exclusive down there.
Yeah, there's a Deadpool panel.
Which we think we can get because...
that one.
Yeah.
What was I saying? So, hopefully there's some pretty badass news. As far as like you have a lot more announcements you're excited for. I don't
follow the news.
Yeah, I don't follow the news as much. I just let shit happen. Like I didn't even know there was a Goosebumps 2 until like somebody posted a picture the other day.
That was good. I like the first Goosebumps.
Yeah, the 2. We'll see. Yeah. So we'll see. I am excited for any surprises that might come. But overall, I'm just excited to be there. And
we have good memories at Con, and I think that's a good. We always are going to try to record some of these things, and like Con to us is always one of the. Me and you talk about them all the time, and we hope that we can continue adding to the list of the memories. With the exception of, we're going to record podcasts, but as we're getting older, we've grown up and matured a little bit more. we're gonna have to.
What is the craziest Comic-Con story you got?
I think for us, it's still the having to Metal Gear Solid our way into the room.
Yeah, I tell people. I often tell people.
I love the story. Yeah.
I when I went to Hawaii,
Yeah.
The night before, I stayed there.
Oh.
I stayed at our first hotel in that same room.
Oh, okay.
And
you told the story again?
Yeah, and I told Daniela, this my friend, that story.
Oh,
and
man.
it was funny to see it, to see because I was like, look at that parking lot, that like we were across the street.
Yeah. People think when you tell the story, like, we're not kidding. That security guard was like we pinpointed it to a science. Every 3 minutes he was going to rotate.
Yeah, and it was like a video. It was like Zelda Ocarina of Time where Link has to sneak into the castle.
It took forever to get in, but we did it.
We did it one by one, and we got to sleep. It was hilarious.
On top of all that, like we've never not had, whether us smelling like Axe body spray when we come in and talking about Messi and soccer shit that none of us care about. Like,
yeah.
We last.
Messi. I remember I told Carlos that Messi sucked and he fucking wanted to kill me. Was that what happened, right? I don't remember.
It's so funny though because and even in the midst of all that, we progressively either get too drunk earlier or we come back. No. Respect where respect is needed. But we do the whole thing where like we can still sit. Last year was actually one of the better ones where we didn't get too crazy. We sat at that Irish pub and we talked about our movies of the year, and all of us had cordial, respectful conversation, and then we went home.
Yeah.
We had pizza. I'm like, wow, we grew up.
Yeah. But I feel like that's another true story there. We did grow up, and I think we're all 30 this time, or close to.
Carlos like 48, but who's counting?
Is Carlos 48?
No, he's 33, 34.
No, he's not 48.
I just exaggerate.
Now we're 30, so it doesn't matter how.
Yeah, and all of us are. Yeah, we're all. And I like the way we do things. Like we get there, and like you always come back with like the coolest things you did. You get to like the nice parties, and we just do something to the traditions, and then you tell us what we miss. And it's not that we miss because we choose not to go.
Yeah, I know.
And it's a thing where like that Wednesday or that Thursday when Fernando showed up, me and him went out by ourselves, and we got a little drunk, and then we came home and went to bed. I'm like, that was fun to me. I was like, that's cool. And I'm like, it wasn't because we brought, even if the homage of people that used to come with us, everyone's kind of grown up. They're all married. They live in different areas now, and it just can't happen. But we still go out of our way. And I look forward to it. Like I drink, but I don't drink all the time. And I enjoy it because I just like to free myself and talk nerd with whoever wants to talk about it. You can get in good debates and talks with people and have great experiences. And for that reason alone, like, we were talking on our notes and we're like, wow, what's the best experience? I'm like, every time we go, we have a new experience, and it's worth every penny of everything we either spent or go in depth for.
Yeah.
But it is good. I mean, I still think about the time where before we went to that pizza place that closed down that we loved, that the first time they went or you went, all of you guys went and you guys were talked about how good it was, and I couldn't believe how good it was until like a year later, and then I sounded like you guys. I was like, guys, this is like the best thing ever.
And that pizza place is gone.
Ah, man, and it bums me out, but it's like, we know. I can consider ourselves now professional con goers because we were there like for ourselves before the big boom where it became like overly crowded to where it's at now. And
because even the first time we went, all right, so we used to have this thing where Franky and some like maybe Danny and one more person had a badge. That's it. The first time I ever went, I believe I met with you, Danny, and then I met for the first time Carlos, Fernando, and like 3 other fucking dudes. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, you guys all have badges? Nope. So we did this thing. Where and it worked, man. And it works.
For
I think
years.
It still probably works.
It's just more hard work now, and we're just no need for that because then you find out that
we scanned last year, right?
Yeah, that's a pain. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And I didn't even scan sometimes on my own because I would forget, and it worked. I was like, that's my idea. If they wanted to ask, I'm like, cool.
Yeah. So, not saying you should try it because it's not something you want to get caught, and it is very scary. Because you can get fucked forever for Comic-Con, and trust me, you don't want to be fucked forever for Comic-Con, where your name is on their fucking thing, where you can never go again.
But
especially if it ever changes to that, where it's like very strict.
And it was
the early days. Is what I'm trying to say. The early days, it was and even though it was only like 5 years ago, it was extremely different.
Oh man,
crowds were not as bad. Oh, and there was no scanning the badges. That's why I'm trying to say it is now. So don't even try it because it's kind of hard. Yeah. And it was like super different. It was a different vibe than it is now. I'd say it's better now
I agree.
because it's gotten bigger and there's more shit.
And I'm not one of those people like that when the being cool now apparently liking all the stuff we've always like became cool. I'm like, I don't even hate that. I'm all okay with that. I'm like, the more the merrier, because the more people like it, the more we're gonna get.
Oh,
and
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I mean, this year I usually every year I buy comics because I don't buy them, and I'm looking in for the hardbacks or whatever I can just to take them on. But like, I want to go in, and if I find all the ones I want, some old ones that I haven't read and stuff, I just want to collect them all, have them, be able to read them, because like, one of the things that I have fallen back is like a year ago I was reading, catching up on all the new Star Wars canon and all that, and then all of a sudden I stopped, and I'm like, fuck, I'm like 12 like issues back, and I'm like, well, I'll wait for Comic-Con, I'll get all of them because I know they'll be there, and there's the little things about the con that we all love to the big things, and that's what makes it an enjoyable experience, and I just can't wait to be there next week.
And yeah, next week, holy shit.
Yeah.
So excited.
It is.
I'm almost going to be sad when we record our post thoughts.
Yeah.
It's another year, and another year of not knowing if I'm going to be able to go next year, because the badges are so
hard.
lottery.
Yeah, I believe in you this year. You got them. I mean, if we all got badges this year, I think we're all going to be okay.
That's what we think. But
how can 7 years in a row that I have gotten them?
Yeah, you guys, what the fuck?
It's always Danny, but let's not get into that.
They just don't want to be racist, so they're like, we got to get the head of
some balance. And I think, we'll talk for things. And again, I do want this podcast to continue. And it's getting easier for me to get much more different time with my new schedule, with my new shoots. So I want to be able to come down here at least every month or something to record some of these things. Carlos really wants to always talk with you because you guys have very conflicting things, and he's like, I should go one thing with you guys so we can have I'm like, hey, you're more than welcome to come. It's like, we have our thoughts. He's like, bring your stuff, because he was like, what if we get too drunk? But no, we're going to be able before
get too drunk.
No, I'm saying like I can't.
Oh, I thought right. He's like, one of these days and he's going to get too drunk
at Comic-Con.
At noon.
At Comic-Con. And, I really want you to get this app, and again, next I'm gonna be at I know it's not a big thing, but to me next year's a big Star Wars year for me. I get to do Celebration. I get to do Episode 9.
Is that gone?
Huh?
The tickets for that?
No, they're still fully.
How much are tickets to?
If you got it with Danny got them, it was like $215 for everything, but now I gotta buy individual tickets. That's a total of like $325 for everything. 5 days though. It's Thursday through Monday.
That's cool.
And I'm excited. I'm going. I want to. I went to Orlando. I've realized I've gone to every celebration since it started, except for the one in Europe, because I'm not gonna go. And I'm gonna keep that tradition for myself. And if it's just me and Dan,
we're talking about Star Wars Celebration, to anyone wondering what the fuck we're talking about.
I think that's gonna be something that I'm excited, because that'll hold me off between we go to Comic-Con again, and it's next year. It's a big year. We get finally the ending of Infinity War. We'll see where everything is at and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a good year, and I want to be able to communicate. And on top of that, I do want to come meet with you some more, and with Dan, and we want to do work on some projects that we want to kind of shoot on top of the podcast. I want to shoot some of these podcasts, because this is also a way into the business that we want to get into. Right. That goes back into the beginning of what we talked.
And the reason I don't go to Long Beach is because, I have a lot of room here, so you guys can all come here.
Of course. And
I don't know if there's a home base in Long Beach anymore.
No, we don't know no home base. We're all separate again.
Yeah, so it would be tough for me to go.
Yeah, and it'd be better here, definitely.
If like, say, Carlos, Fernando, and all that, like, I would fix this a certain way. I would have these mics set up a certain way.
Well, we could figure it out.
Like this, probably, side by side. And we'd all sit in a row, and then we'd set up a camera there, and we can film it and put that on YouTube instead of just audio with the fucking background. That'd be fun.
And I think it would be. And I think we can pitch these ideas. We always have a good time and pitch ideas. And I think more than ever, with certain things that Carlos has done and I want to do, and a lot of these things, I want to continue this. And even if there's a billion of them out there, I don't care if we get noted for like recognized. Spanish, I just do it because I like talking.
We can do it in Spanish, and we could be big. I'm telling you.
I think that.
Vamos a ser los mexicanos.
Órale, papá. Is there more things you want to talk about? I think we talked over them all.
No. Final thoughts. I'm excited for Comic-Con, and sorry I've been random. Like, I've been having a lot of brain farts in this one because I just didn't get really good sleep, and.
I don't think that at all, man. I think you did just as thoughtful as always.
No, I'm not proud. No, I have more to say about. Okay, I have more to say about Halloween in the new trailer. I just don't want to talk about it because I sounded like an asshole and I sounded like I was anti fucking Danny McBride and just anti taking place for 2. But I know it's not going to, because I know that Halloween 2 exists and it's going to exist regardless of this movie coming out or not. It's not like it's going to be, it's not like Blumhouse is going to come collect our Blu-rays and DVDs for Halloween 2 and say, now ours is number 2 now. Carpenter said it's cool or anything. So I'm excited to see it. It's going to be probably my number 2 no matter what, favorite movie of the year. But I'm hoping it's my number 1.
I got it.
And with that said, I just wanted to touch back on Halloween real quick. And final thoughts on Comic-Con. We're going to record a podcast either there or after there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we'll have a lot to say on those.
It's basically going to be responding to everything we talked about on this one. See if any of our predictions came through, and see if we ended up getting the things we wanted to get. See if we have any more crazy stories. See if Carlos ended up getting arrested for being drunk in the streets and pissing on the fucking Totoro cosplayer. We'll see.
It's exciting.
It's possible.
I think
so.
The future is always in movement. So.
And I hope Fernando doesn't sell his badge because he always makes it fun too.
I know he does. I hope he's there with us. He has good thoughts and stuff. So I think it's going to be a good one. With that being said,
hopefully they're all in the podcast too.
Yeah, definitely. I want them to, have a thoughts instead. Well, I think with that said, I think we had a good one here.
How long is it?
It's a good long one.
2 hours.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, we usually do 130, so we just went an extra 30.
Yeah, it's an important one. So,
all right, guys. With that being said, I think we're gonna
call it a podcast here. I'm Julian.
I'm Franky,
and have a good one. We'll talk to you after Comic-Con.
Bye-bye.